Hello, happy Sunday. Welcome in, friends. How are we doing? You know, at one point, Sundays were meant to be like a chill day. I think that kind of died off real fast. I think it's because inevitably it never is. It is intended to be, and then it never actually happens that way. So we just accepted it. Yep. We're doing hot beans today. If I get the ghost wrong, or if we die in Phasmo, it's hot bean time. And why are we doing this? Well, he probably doesn't even know I'm doing it. Because we're playing with Doc today. That would be why. Oh, yeah. Sunday's when your weekend starts? Well, look, let's get it started right. Welcome in, friends. Good to see you all. Hot beans, call the Doc. Yeah, that's kind of the plan. Tis the plan, friend. Call the Doc in a manner of speaking. Yeah, I need to keep him actually open over here so that way I can see him and know what's happening, what's going on. I started a little bit late because I was helping the kiddos while I was making lunch and doing all the things and cleaning up and all that stuff. So I started just a few minutes late. I do apologize. But good to see you, friends. Hello. How is everyone's weekend going so far? How goes it? All right. That needs to be ready. That needs to be good. I'm good. Doing well, man. Good day. Yesterday and the day before, the kiddos had their dance competition stuff. I got to go yesterday. So they kicked ace, which was awesome and great and fun to watch. Yeah. Ignore the fact that I'm double screening because I'm also watching the most recent video. Hey, you do you, boo-boo. I'm not going to tell you when to watch it. I appreciate you watching it, though. Relentless, thank you for the biddies. Hey, Mrs. BTH, thank you for the 3 months. Rio, thank you for the 7. Oh, my goodness. 3, thank you for the 2-month prime. Hello. Doc, call you flashy? Wait, what? I'm ready. By the way, let him know I'm opening the game. I'm opening the game. If he's waiting, like as in he's basically ready now, I'm going. We're going. 8 months pregnant today. So the panic sets in today over having nothing ready for him. Is this your first kid, Debbie? I did not make dino nuggies. No, they wanted noodles. I was like, okay. 2 wanted noodles, 1 wanted eggs. I was like, that's fine. That's easy enough. Sure. Your second. Ooh, okay. I can understand though. I understand what you're saying because, you know, when you change the dynamic, the numbers, it's just a matter of changing your defense. You are no longer zone. You are now man to man. So like you've got to go. One has one and one has the other. It's the way you got to go. You eat pancakes? Hell yeah. All right, we're about to go ahead and join Doc because I believe. Oh shit, camera's in the wrong spot. It's from when we played Retro Rewind, which by the way, I'm still kind of contemplating what to do about having some sort of a. Hi, Juju. Oh my god. Make sure Doc knows I'm about to join him. I'm sorry, I just had to fix the things with the stuff. There we go, fixed it. Still trying to figure out a way that we can, as a community, come together for the SKU numbers, like in Discord or something. So I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. I'm having a ponder, maybe even having 2. All right, let's join Doc. Let's just go ahead and join him. Where's he at? There he is. He's ready for us. Let's be ready for him. There we go. Doing all the things. We're getting it all done. Hey, Shawshank. Random, thank you for the 28 months. Thank you. Arton, welcome in. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. We're not going to get a blood moon. What are you staring at? And that was the moment that Doc realized I couldn't hear him in the game. Hey, Knight, I'm good. Man, this is the quietest I've ever heard you. This is weird. You can't do that. I thought that was him talking. Red line. I thought that was him. You lost your ass streak? Oh, might want to go to the doctor. I was about to respond and be like, wait, why? Oh, okay, never mind. Walk up. Thank you for the 19 months. I just want you to know you're doing great. Never let anyone tell you differently. We could always retry to make the lobby again, Mr. Doc. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes or we could just go into a match real quick and see if it's working and we can back out. Pressure, I've been good. How have you been? Welcome in. Good to see you. New chatter. Hello. What up, official? FNAF, hello? I still can't hear you. All right, I'll see you later. Oh, I should probably be hosting anyway. You know what? No. You know what? Let him know I'm hosting. Why is he hosting? That way we can waste my money. Let's waste my dollars. Let's waste my dollars. Yeah, let's do that. What is the best platform to sponsor you with? To sponsor me? You mean support? Oh, wherever you, dude, you don't have to, but wherever you want. Anywhere, Fred. Don't feel like you have to go to a certain place. Nope. Negative. Are you able to see in the settings, can you see your microphone moving in the game? You can. Okay, I say we do a test, Doc. Let's do a test. Let's just go to Tanglewood, and just go to the truck and see if we can hear each other there. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's go. How's the video storage? Good. I haven't worked on it since we last streamed. I have not worked on it since we last streamed. Okay, let's see what happens. It might just be the lobby. Maybe the lobby's kind of messed up right now.
All right.
God, it's so loud.
Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the
Nope.
investigation.
Nothing. Oh. Nope. Oh, nope. Someone fooled me with a blurb. Thought that was you. Nope. Nothing. Damn it, Drifter. You son of a bitch. That part would have gave it away for sure. Solar Moon, thank you for the biddies. Hello. What is a hot bean? It's a bean that's hot. Something's happening, and he said that he's able to hear. I'm watching his screen.
Hello.
Hi.
I screwed up my settings.
Should we return to the lobby? You know what? I think we should
I'm gonna
anyway.
go ahead and say my bad.
No.
We should
that's
anyway.
okay. What happened?
For some reason, Phasmophobia changed my default microphone to a microphone that wasn't my microphone. And here we are. I barely know how to get into settings on my own, so it's surprising to me that it changed.
Okay,
But
let's
that's all
return
right.
to the lobby so that we can get away from this crap, and then we can say hi officially.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. He probably thought I was just gonna go back that way. No. We'll do it this way. All right. Have him rejoin. It's a shade. I don't even care what it is. We ignore that. You wish you weren't wearing headphones. To hear that supple, just amazing voice, how dare you? It's way faster to do it like this. Yeah, then wait for the truck, go through that whole rigmarole. No thanks. Hey, controller, how are you? Raindrops, thank you for the gifted to Drake. Yeah, much faster to leave. Once he joins in, I'll turn his voice down like a smidge, like a skosh, and we'll be good to go. The scream hurt your eardrums. You should feel blessed. Yeah. Relentless, thank you for the biddies, friend. Ay, caramba. Mr. 420. Is today the official birthday, friend? Wait. Is today the official birthday? Hi, Shauna. We're just gonna roll like this. Here, we'll get some B-roll while we wait. Norris, thank you for the year. Thank you so much. We're waiting for Mr. Doc. No? Yes. It is. Happy birthday. Oh, I got stuck. I think he's struggling trying to figure out where we are now. Or he's locked and he can't get in. I was doing a job quest in Final Fantasy and the screen was perfectly timed for the boss spawn. What if every time a boss spawned, it made that scream? Yeah. He needs a mature adult? Not gonna find one here. No, no, no. Rock, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. All right. Now that we're live and we're about to get going, now I can send the noti. Okay. If you see the ping in Discord, it's me. It's me. You're good. No, there's nothing new there. You're good. You're good. Do you make pesto, pasta, or nuggies? That's really a mood thing. Because I like pesto, but I really got to be in the mood for it. Put the nuggies in the pasta. Oh, see, there you go. He's experiencing technical difficulties. Okay, is he restarting the game? It might be the lobby. I mean, I could always do another lobby. Play Point Hope. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? He's restarting. Thank you. Okay. Doc started playing Phasmo, it says. Yeah, I've had that happen to me. The whole you go to start and it just says connecting 50,000 times. Yeah, that happens to me too. Gonna join the server? Yeah, feel free, friend. For sure. Like I said, here soon, I'm gonna figure out a way. I'm in talks also, well, in the talks with Mr. Croster to see if he can help me figure out a nice, clean way to collect SKUs so that way people can enter it into their retro rewind games. All right, check your microphone. Check your microphone.
I Flash.
Oh my god. What are you
Oh my god. Oh my god. I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's a bit.
I heard that you had the connecting thing, and that's happened to me not too long ago too.
Well, interestingly enough, I went and I exited the game.
Okay.
And then when I went to restart the game, there was a little update that went through. Little tiny update.
Well, you were able to join me. Oh, but you had the game open before. Okay.
Before the update. So a little bit of Phasmophobia trickery. I appreciate it. Keeps us frosty. Keeps us on our toes.
Toes,
I mean, not
frost.
that we can go on our toes because we don't have any toes. We look down.
Well, you do if I look. They're ghosty. They're ghosty toes.
Ghosty toes?
Although I do have to admit, it's a little jarring that your pants have somehow fused with your boots, and I don't know how to help you.
They're footies actually. It's
is it
just
like a
footy
onesie?
Pajamas. Yeah.
This is a onesie. Dude, that would actually be pretty sick if somebody made this as a onesie.
Like a suit onesie? There's gotta be such a thing as a suit onesie.
There is, and it's like there's like I don't even know how to describe it. Underneath one of the flaps on your chest for the coat is the zipper so that it hides.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Convenience flaps.
Convenience flaps. Hey, what's up, Mason? Welcome in.
Well, FlashForce.
Well, Doc.
What's in the agenda? What's in the agenda?
Well,
or on
let
it?
me open the agenda. Oh, so I was planning on. You know how you do your hot sauce runs? Because we decided, of course, ever so randomly, which is usually how this goes, to play together, I'm going to do hot bean runs today. You don't listen. There's no peer pressure here. Do not feel like you have to. It's okay. But I will be doing it.
My God, you don't understand how bad I am with peer pressure.
There's no peer pressure here.
No, but even when peer pressure's implied, I can't help it.
It's like the teacher's telling you, hey guys, don't do this. And you're in the corner like, I don't want to.
All right, but let's be honest for a second. Any child where you say, hey, don't do that. What are they going to do? Watch this. Are you ready, FlashForce? Okay.
Sure.
Tell me not to make a mess. Go ahead, tell me.
Okay. Listen. I appreciate you being here.
Dad.
I appreciate everything that you've done, all the work you put into the game. Yeah. I definitely do not want you to put wood inside of the cornhole, okay?
I know I'm not supposed to, but would I hereby place thee into the cornhole thing? Crap, hold on. Wood, I know. Wood, wood. Friggin'. Maybe you're right. Maybe peer pressure's not a thing. Okay, Mr. First Try. All right. Yeah. You know what?
Listen, yeah, I didn't say anything about the pins. This is true. And
No! There are
Thank you
so
guys
many
for the hype
jokes
train,
and
friends.
none of them can be said right now. All right, F this noise. This is ridiculous.
all right, so about that whole fast thing I heard about.
Yeah. I at some point I'm gonna have to get up and go get hot sauce because you peer pressured me into it. So I'm gonna go do that.
Okay,
once
that's
we get
fine.
started.
That's fine.
Okay.
Let's decide difficulty and location, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Do we want to just warm up? Get a little. You know, like Mr. Miyagi, Karate Kid when he rubs his hands together.
warm up thing?
Well, yeah.
If we could just do
You
a
show me, man.
little warm up.
Warm. It's so warm in here.
It's
now.
so toasty. It is toasty in here too.
I'm gonna warm up with a nightmare run.
Okay.
On a relatively small map,
Okay.
and then from there we'll ratchet up the tension.
I like it.
We'll ratchet it.
We'll ratchet it.
Nice.
I like it.
Nice.
Ratchet.
Okay. I am down. Camp
Yeah.
Woodwind it is.
Get ratcheted on.
Get ratcheted, nerd.
Blood Moon? No. It's going to save that for Tanglewood. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet it saves it for Tanglewood?
Shut up. No one's interested in what you have to say.
You're very annoyed with that man.
We've had reports of violence.
He's trying to take your jab.
In a hurry.
But do you? He's talking down to me. He thinks I'm a moron.
It looks like
Well,
they
get
left
us
in a
what?
hurry because you're stupid.
Yeah, right. Jeez.
Finally
I
made
want you
it.
to remember, you have to grab a lighter. I've noticed you've forgotten it many times before, which obviously
I've always
makes you
wanted
a
to have.
stupid mother-
I've always wanted a GPS that would talk down to you. You know what I mean? Like, way to miss the turn, mother.
Yeah.
That would be so good.
No, I said Sheboygan, you idiot. Okay.
And stop now.
Here we go.
Gonna guess Morroy? All right.
870 Donna Carter. Capture a photo of any successful reading on an EMF reader. Capture a video of a ghost. Prevent the ghost from hunting with a crucifix.
Okay.
Sounds like a job for
All right.
FlashForce.
Which one are you doing? You dude,
I'm
you just started
doing-
you okay. Did you just start to go into a partial jingle of the Turbo Man song inside of Jingle All the Way?
Okay, you're.
Did I just dig
no.
too deep?
Yeah, I don't have that kind of pop
Okay.
culture now.
I heard like da 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 da. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Da 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 da. See, somebody gets it.
Oh, you
Someone's gonna
mean
get it.
da 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 da.
No.
Da, da, da,
No.
da, da,
No.
da,
No.
da,
No.
da,
No.
da.
No.
What? No?
No.
Oh,
That's not it. No.
okay.
No. It's a good try though. I
about-
appreciate you.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
I got that one. That's
All right.
good. Okay.
I'm gonna go right quick, grab some chips and salsa,
Okay.
and then I will salsa. It's not salsa. It's
Salsa.
not salsa.
That is not salsa.
That's how I'm gonna think of it in my brain. It's just salsa.
This is just salsa.
Like being a baby.
I can't feel my face.
It's not 1.1 million Scoville units of pure liquid pain being applied to my tongue that's going to
You
evaporate.
know,
my
liquid
taste
pain
buds
is a
on contact.
really great name for like a new hot sauce.
Liquid pain, and also a college band.
Oh, liquid. We're liquid pain. Here's our first song. Ah!
Hello, Cleveland. We're liquid pain.
Oh my god.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. All right, I'll be right back. PRD,
All right.
I'm going to power down. What? I'm going to power down real quick, and
Okay.
I will,
All
I
right.
shall
All right.
return
I'll come
shortly.
back and I'll recharge you when you come back. All right. Our dock is down, so we'll go forward and find the ghost, and then we'll come back and recharge him. Okay. What are you goofballs doing? Playing Phasmo? Oh man, if only this was here. Over this way? White tent? Maybe? Dude, if I find all this stuff before he even gets in here. All right, there we go. Hey, Minnie. YouTube stream's really quiet. Let me open it up and I'll check in a second. It should be the exact same volume as this, as the stream everywhere else. Hey, Kai. Have a good nice day. No, you have a nice day. You knock it off. You have a nice day. I imagine it's not going to take him too long to get his hat sans. If I had a nickel for every time someone mentions a blood moon today. Listen, it doesn't help when I keep posting about blood moons. Okay? It just so happens that that's the clips I get. All right? It is Doc, yeah. It happens. I posted today about Norm talking to us a bunch, and it just so happened to be a blood moon. There's nothing I can do about it. Difficulty we're playing on Nightmare. Yeah. Yeah. Please read messages. Okay. Well, there we go. I succeeded. I did my job. Sooner or later, you can get one. I feel like the next time we go to Tango, we're going to do it. All right, let me see if he's back. Let me give him a little recharge here. Little recharge, little boop. Ready? Watch. We got to wind him up. Give him a wind. Okay, you stand back.
Hello, FlashForce. I'm Doc 3000.
Oh, wait. Oh, crap. Wrong version. Hold on. Let me click him. Hold on. I got it. No. Okay. A little click. All right. There you go. All right. Try it again. Get a little click.
Hello, FlashForce. I'm PassionBot 4000.
PassionBot? What the hell? I didn't order this.
PassionBot.
I didn't order this.
Oh, yes,
click.
you did. It's on the manifest.
Click.
It's right here for the roll.
All right, let's try this one more time. Click.
Well,
okay, there we go.
everything was so dark.
Doc, are you okay?
Okay. I think so. I think
There was
so.
a real missed opportunity there for you just to start going in Spanish. Oh no, not again.
I don't know enough Spanish. I'd be like, ¿dónde está el baño? Por favor.
Oh, that would have worked totally. Okay. My God. Oh, by the way, we have EMF 5 white tent. It immediately gave me EMF 5 when I walked in.
Roger that. It's almost like you don't even need me.
Nobody said that. Where are you? Are you here? Where are you? Are you here? Where are you? It hates boots. Go back to Johnny 5 Doc mode.
Hi.
Hi. Doc alive. That's right. Sam, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the follows, friends. Duck, Giant Tree, welcome in. All right, let me make sure things are good. Okay, let me turn off this. All this is Schwell in the neighborhood. Okay, I'm gonna get a smudge because we don't want to have to do a hot bean today, but it is on the table. Yeah. What does Nightmare does normally? You get 2 pieces of evidence instead of 3 is the biggest thing. Hey.
Wait, what was that? I heard.
I said, hey.
Oh, hey.
How's it going?
Pretty good. You find any other ghost evidence?
It did write in the book.
Can you just do me a favor and tell me if it wrote in my book or in your book? Mine's the better.
Which one? Yours is the better one? It might be yours. I'm not sure. You might have to come look.
Roger that. I'll be.
Oh, God. Adam! Thank you for the super chat, dude.
Hey.
Hey. Looks like you got my passion bot by accident. Oh, yeah, I can forward it to you. Yeah, I apologize. Was that my book? It might have been mine. Graham, thank you for the 35 months. Oh, it's writing in the other one. Got it. Hey, it wrote in both books now.
Yeah, but it wrote kind of nicely in mine, and looks like 3rd grade artwork in yours. It's weird. It's like my book's better.
That's okay. It's about to event on you and tell you you're wrong.
It will not event on me in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nothing.
I mean, you're right. I didn't count it down though. I think that's the problem.
Bring it. Bring it.
All right, here we go. 7, 2, 5, 1, 0.
Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Well, fuck.
some encouraging words. You got any words of encouragement?
Yeah. Do it or else?
No, I didn't do it. Maybe I'll try. Listen, Ghosty. I know you and we've had our differences in the past. But I'm willing to put all of that aside. Can you please give me a sign? Give me some sort of event right now. FlashForce, run for your life! Save the children!
It's okay.
It was you the whole time.
It's okay. It's fine. Relax.
Son of a gun.
Relax.
Oh,
it's okay.
Geez.
It's
Wow.
me again. Relax.
Wait, did you do this?
No, I did not. Okay. All right. Chill. Hey, stop it. Stop it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have bursitis.
Oh, you know, it might want Spanish Doc to return.
Ah, Dios mío.
It's gonna be Antonio Banderas. I like it. I like it.
Take that as a
Oh no!
compliment.
No!
Wait, what?
I didn't want to record the EMF
you- no,
5
no, no.
twice. I didn't want to record it twice. Oh, I got fire extinguished. What the French? Hold on.
Beep, beep, beep.
There we go. Okay, that was 2. Roger that. Nas, thank you for the 8 months. Thank you so much. Hello.
Not for nothing, I still wish that the game would record our actual voices. When it was
I
recording
wished
things
that
on
the
recorder.
second they said this was going to be added, and it made me a little sad that we can't do that, and we can't also review video clips that we've taken.
Yeah, I can see how that would be hard to like actually design.
I know.
I mean,
it's
I think it's
like
just like inviting
a
bugs.
database, basically, like collecting all those clips and saving them.
Yeah. Well, kind of like what was the game? Content warning.
Yes. Oh, but it was so great. Oh, it made it so good.
It was. It was. I would play that again at some point.
You know, it's been a long time since I've played that. I would be down to try it again as well. It's been a really long time. All right. I'm not convinced we have a ghost anymore. I'm gonna go turn the power on.
From our choices, we have...
What is the bony thing? Oh, his name is Doc. Tangle today? I would almost guarantee it. Yeah. I know, he's got a name.
Thinking,
Oh yeah, that's a hunt. Where do I hide? Where do I hide? Where do I hide? Is there hiding over here? Doc, run! Run, Doc, run!
Let's go.
Ew. Has nothing to do with the ghost.
What do you mean?
Where did it start from? It was like over here or something.
Good.
I'm
I don't know.
greasy.
It was pretty darn fast when it couldn't see me. I will say that.
Oh, I got the hunting ghost audio. Let's go. That was the ghost.
So we're thinking it's not a shade, right? Because that seemed to happen.
I don't know. I don't know. Started playing Phas not too long ago. Learned a lot from the vids. I appreciate it. All right. I'm going to grab another smudge. Oh, we need a video of the ghost. Let's see. We need a video of the ghost. We need 3 photos. Speed. Okay, well, it's Myling Shader Spirit. So, I mean, it's inevitably normal speed. It's just a matter of the smudge timer, which I failed to do.
I'm kind of inclined to think it's not a Myling because
Sounded pretty loud.
I feel like I could hear it when it was far away.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Fair play, sir.
So I
Fair play.
don't know. I could be wrong. I've been wrong once or twice or many
Okay.
times before.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I trust you.
All right. Oh. That might be a mistake.
The realization. Oh. Well, that's nice.
Wait, do I have
Okay.
a lighter? I do.
I
Okay.
yeah, lighter check.
Yep. Sausage check?
Oh, we don't have those here.
Not the time. All right.
Not the time. Not the time. That stays in the pocket of Woodwind.
They should have sausages here.
I think they should too. I mean, we have like a few grills,
Well,
right?
or hot dogs at least.
Yeah. A few high guys.
I'll shove you.
Oh, crap.
Don't worry about the first picture I took. That was in completely the wrong direction.
You just
Don't
went
worry about
this
that
way.
I got scared. I was getting ready to run.
Oh, I saw that. Oh, that was good.
So do we want to delete that one?
Yes, please. Yes, please. The ghost was here. You were here and you went, ah!
Flash, I was here the whole time. I know what happened. Hey, remember that time?
Remember that time you did this thing?
And then everyone saw? It was amazing. It was so good.
Oh, listen.
It looks so stupid.
It was... I've done that before, though, because you just try to get it before the ghost disappears.
Hold on a second. I'm going to go pick up the boat.
Okay. Oh, my Lanta. Hey, get a photo of that boat. And that fart.
I can't. I dropped the camera.
This might be a
If I
spirit.
die doing this, I'm telling you, I'm not going to forgive you.
Okay, don't die. Run. Run. What? What the hell? Ma'am? Ma'am? Why is it just going for Doc? Run, Doc, run.
It hates me. I can't run anymore.
Get ready to smudge! Smudge!
I'm smudging.
Okay, now run.
Smudge.
Run for your life.
I'm running.
Run!
I'm running. I'm running. I can't run anymore. I have no cardio.
Go faster! All right. I'll shove you. I thought I got the video. That's hot freaking garbage. All right, I don't care about the perfect game anymore. This has got to be a spirit, right?
Oh, what's it? Every door on the planet just opened at the same time.
Oh, there it is. I tried. That probably
Can we go
failed.
now? Can we go
Yeah,
now?
I failed.
We should probably go now. We can probably go.
You
The
have a
door's
drops
probably
campaign.
openable.
Nobody has a drops
I'm gonna
campaign.
open Oh, look at that. The door's open. We can go now.
Okay.
We can go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Might not have been close enough. I guess. I thought I did. Oh,
So-
caramba. It still has yet to eat a crucifix. Listen, I mean, are we pretty sold on a
Okay, we
spirit?
won't
But that's
go.
a dicey call, you know?
Well, we don't want dicey. We don't want dicey.
Yeah, but we only got one smudge left.
Oh.
Okay, no, but it's
you
yours. Yeah, no, it's yours.
No.
No,
I mean,
no,
I think if we're being honest, we know who's going to deploy that.
It's
better.
yours.
No.
It's yours.
No.
No.
That's
No.
not how it works.
No. It's yours.
Ray, I appreciate it. No, I don't want this.
When do I
You
stream?
should
Right
have
now.
This. You should have this. Imagine for
Yes.
a moment a
Okay.
world without FlashForce because some idiot deployed the smudge in the wrong way.
No,
That
no.
would be terrible. Here,
You can't do that.
take
You
this.
can't do that in the wrong direction. It doesn't happen.
Flash, take this smudge and use it wisely.
Okay, listen. You know what? Okay, listen. I'm gonna do it.
There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna
Okay,
try to
good.
get this ghost to eat the crucifix. All right.
I believe in you. I'm
Okay.
just gonna stay in the van.
Okay.
All right.
Listen. That's totally fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe in you.
I believe in you too!
You liar!
What? I was just gonna sneak up behind you. So, what's going on?
What are we waiting for? Where is the ghost? Hey, what's up, Lynn? The game is good. How are you? I'm a little worried as to where this ghost is. Is that behind me? I'm gonna get the motion sensors.
Oh. Wait, we gotta take a picture of the spine.
Don't forget, I was gonna say, don't forget about
Take a
the
picture of the
boner.
spine. I'm gonna go take a picture of the spine.
Okay. Got a smudge at the ready. Oh shit. Get ready. Get ready. Small tent. Small tent. Where are you going? I smudge, Doc. I smudge. Run. He said, I'm going to stay in the truck. Didn't he? He said, and I quote, I'm going to stay in the truck. We gotta go spirit, right? All right. Is there a way for me to bring you back? I don't think we have a monkey paw, right? I might die. Ma'am, would you leave it alone? You've already hurt him enough. That does not look like the truck. Definitely a spirit with those loud footsteps. What the hell? Well, it still could technically be a shade, but I don't think it. I think the smudge timer between when it hunts, I think is making it a spirit. I could be wrong, but yeah. I have no way of bringing you back except for leaving. So we're going to go spirit and leave and just be really hopeful, okay? Miss you. Hey, guys, thank you for the 9 months, friend. Let's hope we're right. Got to give him a you tried. Thank God.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you.
I'll stay in the truck, he said. I won't go into the map, he said. Have fun, he said. Anything to say for yourself?
Oh, you couldn't hear anything that I just said? Flash?
No, I could not.
Then I'll just start over. Flash, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not the sort of guy who's gonna let his friend walk into certain danger. Not that kind of guy.
No, I appreciate that. We will,
I'm not the kind of guy who takes the last smudge and swears that he will protect his friend and then doesn't do so. I'm not that kind of guy.
It is not my fault that you don't know how to get your little fingies around the tent flap. The shock and the horror.
I must have flipped that thing like 5 times. Like, no. I'm clicking it. I'm unclicking it. What happens? Okay.
We can, we'll stand by while you do your hot sauce.
Okay. I will be going radio silent for a moment while I apply.
That's fine. We'll just imagine what this is like.
Okay. Okay. You're right there.
So just picture in your head, just pure flames. I could make an edit for that. We can make this into a video and then I'll just add some stuff. It'll be fine. I did get it right. Correct. Gee. Oh my God. Hi, Rexy. How are you?
Ooh. I've had a head cold recently.
Oh, this will clear it up. Okay, give us a small description of how it feels.
Okay. Well, you know how Mercury is right next to the sun.
Okay. Yeah.
My tongue is Mercury, and the sun is the sun.
Is it like licking the sun?
Oh yeah. I just licked the whole circumference of the sun. The entire circumference.
All right. Interesting. Queen, thank you for the sub.
I'm okay though. I'm okay. This is fun. I'm having fun. Are you having fun?
I'm having a great time. That was a good map. Listen, I chose Camp Woodwind, so you can choose now. Yeah.
All right. I choose Sorry about the sniff.
I'm
gonna choose Willow Street. It's not me crying. I'm not crying. You're crying.
I'm not crying. Shut up. You're crying. Can people on Xbox play with people on PC? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for the primes, friends. Cosmic Cherry, thank you so much. Been a while since I catch the live. Hello, friend. Rexy, thank you for the 6 months. Gonna be using it to help your investigation.
All right, Ruth Brooks.
Case 80720. Ruth Brooks. Ruth. In an episode of below 25%, get the ghost below the firelight and have a member of your team escape the ghost during a hunt. So says Ruth Brooks.
You're saying Ruth?
Ruth.
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 Ruth. It's like
Ruth.
Like, yeah, it's like the dog when it wants to take a walk and you say to it, wanna, and then the dog's like, and then you say wanna, and then the dog goes, Ruth.
Mine does not say Ruth.
What does it say?
Nothing. She just wags her tail in excitement and she just waits patiently.
And then you just let it endure for a little bit?
Well, no. Then I get the leash and I take her and she's just good to go. She's not Ruth. I guess I need to train her to say Ruth.
With dogs.
I guess.
Oh, wait a minute. Or maybe that wasn't a dog at all. Maybe that was grandma upstairs.
Wait, maybe that was my kid. Oh my god. Hot sauce has gotten to him. It's hitting his brain hole. It's already too late. We've lost him. We've already lost Doc. Alright. First possession. Oh, my Lanta. We can do all 3 medias with that bad boy. So we'll wait to do that. Hope I can see a blood moon. You know, the odds of us getting a blood moon are way higher than us not getting a blood moon. Yeah. Do not lick the sun. That's a good fact. I heard you. Back bedroom. Left. Ruth!
I'm gonna head down to the basement and get the power.
Alright, sounds good. I got the power!
Mother father! Oh, dude. Oh my god. No. Listen to what happened. At the exact same time you came around the corner and did that with that voice.
Yeah.
Otter did their little voice command walk-on thing, which is
This voice here. So you came around the corner and it was like, I can't believe it. It's Otter nonsense. And it was like, ah!
Oh my god.
Oh, that's good stuff. I don't care who you are. Priceless. You just can't make it up, man. Nintendo power. This is an example to never give in to peer pressure. What do you mean peer pressure? What happened? We haven't done anything yet. Listen, I was going down there to get the power anyway. It's not my fault.
Did you happen... Hi! Did you happen to notice that the bone is in the bedroom?
No, I did not.
Well, I did. And I'm telling you now. The bone is in the...
Oh, you're right there. Hey.
Oh my. It's a little guy. Don't be sad. It's okay. It'll get bigger.
Oh. Wait, but why do I feel like you're talking to me?
I heard that in the background. Hello, sir.
I'm crying again.
That's fine. EMF 5. Like an hour. What? Oh, yes.
You ever notice how when we play together, I never find any evidence? You ever notice that? I'm starting to notice.
No, I don't notice that at all. Where are you? Are you here? Where are you? Are you here? I'll make him think he got it. Where are you? Are you here? Okay, nothing. Okay. Okay, nothing. Okay. I'll wait till he comes back and then I'll turn the EMF readers on and then he'll think he got it. Lady? Okay. Okay, okay. Let's turn it back on. Okay. Wait for it. Wait for it.
EMF 5.
EMF 5? Nice.
Yeah. You're welcome. I'd like to say you're welcome.
We're letting Doc get it. Can't be Mare anyway. It also can't be a Goryo because we saw those dots in person. This might be a Wraith because it hasn't walked installed yet. Okay. Heck yeah. Oh.
Whoa,
It likes that look better.
Hey.
We're letting Doc get dots.
Why are you hating on books, bro?
Uncultured swine. The cursed object is the Ouija board.
Two households, alike in dignity and fair Verona, where we lay our scene.
Oh, never mind. Oh, shit. Oni or Raiju. Oh, my.
Oh, crap! Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine.
Oh, crap. Oh, my God. Guessing an Oni is very eventy, and I think Oni vibes are definitely high right now. All right, let's see. We can do media while he's doing his thing. Firelight. I'll just be side quest man. All right, I'm gonna get the firelight.
Okay.
And audio.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think it's
I'm going to get a smudge
Okay.
and
And a lighter.
and I have one. I have
Hey,
one.
let's go.
And a motion sensor. No, I'm not. And a motion sensor.
Now we're talking. I'm gonna let him discover the evidence because when he discovers it first himself, then it's this, you know, this proud moment.
Make it happen.
You found something that looked like a smudge IRL. I had something very similar happen. Not today. It was the other day. All right, here. I'll put that there.
Okay.
Hi, Lissa. We have hiding in the front room. We have hiding in here. No. We could be cool and start hide and seek. No, I'm not going to do that. I can get an audio with the board. I can get a photo with the board. I can get a video with the board. All the things. Gonna nap while you have the stream on? Hey, you do you, boo-boo. No loud noises. Okay. Did he see it? I just saw it. Did he just miss it again? All right, what do we got?
Well, I saw the dots with my naked eye.
Ooh, nice.
means-
Okay.
Yeah. Not a Goryo. It's stepped in the salt, not a Wraith.
Okay.
It's an Oni or a Raiju
All right.
because... Stop. Now, wait a minute. I have an actual question.
Yeah.
So, do you know how the Raiju heartbeat is like...
Super beady baba. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Now, does it only do that during the hunt where it's super, or does it also doing it does it also do it during events as well?
It also does it during events.
Casey. Okay,
He
'cause
just
that
lost
didn't-
20
I was
sanity
just
from that.
there, and it didn't feel that way to me.
Okay. Just a side note, by the way, if that is an Oni and you just got hit by the event, you just lost 20 sanity. And that's why it's hunted.
Really?
I'll give it a little peek.
I'm hidden. I am the night.
Son of a biscuit. Looked pretty visible to me, Mr. Doc.
Ah, good observations on those Oni blades, bro.
Thanks, bro. Now I'm gonna get a Yurei scream. Firelight.
Yuri scream.
Yurei scream. What
Is that what
the?
you said?
No.
What's a Yuri screen?
He is a hilarious ball of chaos. There is no Yuri screen.
Are you sure? It might be like.
What? I was about to ask you what a Yuri screen would sound like, but I'm glad that you just read the room and you went for it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I knew where we were going.
Thank you.
I knew you needed a little hand, and I was happy to help out. Because I have little hands. I have little tiny hands.
Okay. Do we want to make it to where we have to complete objectives to keep it spicy? I think so.
Yes.
All right. 25. We have a Ouija board, by the way.
Ooh, that will help.
One of us needs to escape the ghost during a hunt.
Okay. I'm on it.
Preferably both of us, actually.
Roger
now that
that.
I think about it.
Sir, yes, sir. Let's do the thing. Yeah.
I am ready.
Apollo! Thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate you, friend.
Wait.
What? Sorry.
You're the worst at waiting. If you all
Go on. Here.
Now that sounded basic to me, but wait.
Okay.
When you go through this door.
She's not waiting, Doc.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Let's try this again. One more time.
Wait. FlashForce, the moment you go through this door.
Okay.
I cannot speak to the horrors that you will witness.
Okay.
If you decide to go in there, please proceed with extreme caution.
Noted. So about that caution, you spoke up.
Hey, here we go. Caution, we're cautious. We're both cautious. Oh, motherfucker. I'm so stupid.
I might die. Where's his smudge? Did you not have a smudge? Oh, he did. Oh, there's his smudge. Oh, it's right there. I don't. Interesting. The house landed on him. Oh no, no. Well, technically did not. All right. I gotta escape the ghost because he died. We didn't escape the ghost. I did not murder it. He was hiding. What do you mean? He was literally hiding. And then he came out because he wanted to be a part of the fun. And he might have gotten stuck. Like he might have gotten tripped up on the chair or the table or something. You cannot blame me. How dare you? I did not tell the ghosty to hug him. And no, somebody that asked about the door. No, the ghost can't see you through this door. No. Nope. This breaks line of sight. So if you were to be running away from the ghost and like, let's say it's in the garage and you go in here and you go like this, the ghost did not see you pass through there, it can't see you. Jumped out right in front of Mrs. Ghosty. He did. And now we got a docked doormat. Ghosts are blind through glass. The ghosts are blind through doors. Yep. So they can't see through the doors. However, they do check behind them. So it's not like you can go behind that garage door and be safe. That used to be a thing. Not no more. Not no more. Hey, how are ya? And if you're looking to practice loops, this is one of the best places to do it. You can almost just walk and be safe. All right. Got the escape. Okay, sounds good. Okay, sounds good. Let's take the crucifix and go put it in the room. think I've ever seen dog. No, no, no. It's just he gets so antsy and he wants to. Hey, we got him at 5, and he wants to, you know, have a good old fun time. I understand. Where's the? Did we have a photo camera in here? Wait. I don't think we did. No, it's the Ouija board. No. Britt, think of the 8 months. Yeah, I'm not going to go back and then come back and get a photo and then do all that. We'll just leave this here as like part of like the memorial. We'll make like a little memorial for him. How about that? I like that idea. All right. For Doc's memorial. Let's see. This. Yes. All right. That there. And then we put this there. Perfect. Yeah, Doc fell down. Here, we can make it look nicer. Make it look fancy. Look. Oh, shit. I ruined it. I ruined it. There, that's better. Perfection. Okay, let's get out of here. Ads are starting in 20 seconds, so let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. He's taking a rest. Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be it, Odie. For sure. Nat, welcome in. How are you? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. His little leggy sticking through the door. I know.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you.
Ads are about to happen, friends. Know that on multiplayer days I do let them run, so hopefully they will start now. Yeah.
Why on my memorial? I mean, the smudge I get, because it was the smudge. It was the smudge that I didn't use.
Yeah.
The lantern I get, because you want to have that kind of ambient lighting.
Right.
Why does my memorial feature a caulk?
Because I felt like it was a sticky situation you had yourself in, and it's the only appropriate item that fits that theme. You believe that? You believe that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The caulk of remembrance. Yeah, the caulk of remembrance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The caulk of remembrance. Oh, I've heard of this. Yes. All right. Hold on. I gotta do a thing. All right. No evidence runs. Here we go.
No evidence runs? All right. Let me switch it up. It didn't leak my address. It's a P.O. box. Why would I have an auto command that leaked my home address?
All right.
If you read the command properly.
Oh, this one went down okay. This one
was
down
a
fine.
little better. Is your mouth numb from the first one?
No, like it really depends on. Pardon me as I get into the anatomical aspects of hot sauce consumption. If you manage to channel the hot sauce down the side of your gullet. Never mind. Okay, let's go. Next game.
Hi, Queen. How are you, Fred? All right. You chose Willers. We're moving to no evidence. Let's go to Nels.
Go ahead. All right.
No, wait. You know what? No.
Okay.
No.
Tanglewood.
Let's go Tangle.
I like it.
All right.
I think
he thinks it's become routine. It just happens very often because we're both like, we're just playing Phaz on Sundays, so then we just end up playing together. Hi, Mr. Crow. Thank you for 61 months, man. Damn.
Looks like this is going to be a tough
Don't be
one.
sad. Listen.
Reports of violence, and it looks like they
He's not trying to take your job.
might as well. I'm not living.
Hey, Nightmare. How are you?
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Touche. Oh, I have no tissues down here.
What was that? That was Shawshank Redemption, right? I think it was. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
It's been a while since I've
Hey,
seen that
look, a
movie.
thing.
Case 872, Katiana Lewis, capturing a video of the ghost of a member of the sheep. And another male team escaped the ghost during a hunter repel the ghost within senses while it's chasing someone.
All right. I understood that. All right, I'm gonna sit in the truck for a second. I need to go blow my nose, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna
go
get
find the
tissues.
ghost.
All right, get all the evidence. I'll be right back.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, that's better. There we go. Nope, chair's gone. Sorry. Too bad. Nope, no chair for you. Nope, you don't get to enjoy the chair. All right. All right, did you figure it all out yet?
Yeah.
All right, what do we got? All right, roger that. Deke, you've said that like 17 times and nothing has happened, so obviously I'm not too worried. What happened?
It was a ruse. It was my cunning attempt to trick you.
Okay.
I've gotten literally nothing.
Okay, that means we're gonna get spirit box over here. Where are you? Are you here? I had to try.
I thought we were set to no evidence.
I'm just testing you. I forgot.
Why are you testing me? Like,
just making sure.
I seem like I need a test to prove that I'm incompetent? Like, we don't need one.
Maybe I brought this stuff in because of ambiance. I wanted to get the UV over here on the crop. I can't pick that back up. Well, okay, it's gone. Are you telling me
it's like an Ozzy Osbourne concert?
Okay, I was able to get that
you got
back.
it. Good job.
Okay.
Good job. Oh wait, hold on. Let me try this. Oh, I got this.
I think it's somewhere near the front. Okay. Never mind. Okay, good talk. How can you tell if it's a mirror by hunting?
We
You
got
can't.
EMF something? It's beeping. I don't know what it says, but we got EMF something.
All right, I'll take it. I kind of forgot it was no evidence there for a second. My bad. Why is he throwing clipboards over there?
It just threw a picture at me from inside the child's room.
Don't forget Norm. Oh yeah. Hold on. We'll get Norm. It shrew a picture.
Yeah. Through this one. Or no, it threw Tiffin, the angry cat, at me. Guess what? Tiffin thinks you suck too.
Wait, where's that EMF?
It's in the painting.
Oh no.
It's in Narnia. Hey, stop that.
Got it.
Look at you.
Look at you.
No, it wasn't. I honestly didn't mean it that way. It was an actual compliment.
Thanks. Oh my god. Would a Dio still ground the spirit box with no evidence? No,
That
because
just
you
makes
can't
me
get
think
evidence.
of the fact that for a while, I am ashamed to admit, I was that guy that would turn on the spirit box and deliberately glitch it into a drawer, and then people would hate me.
Well, I thought that I lost the stuff too. That's why I was a little bit concerned.
Not nearly as cool as losing the EMF detector inside the pool table, though. I will say that.
Not as cool. No, that's definitely a way better trick. Joe, thank you for the 9 months. Kale, welcome in. How are you? All right, we're gonna put that right there so that the kid will finally move.
Okay.
Because I still have yet to see that happen.
For what reason?
I don't know, because I haven't seen it happen yet. Oh,
Well, here, I'll give you a demonstration.
let's get Norm. By the way, I'm almost sold that you can hear him in the sound sensor because you can hear him in the parabolic microphone. I brought Norm.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh. There we go. Norm is ready.
Norm is like...
There's only room for one of us on this bed.
Poor...
Oh, God!
Oh, God. Why does she look so tall? I think she was standing in the dog bed.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put the magical conch in here. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
We have closet hiding and locker hiding in the garage.
Okay, and we have no wraith because it walked through the souls.
This
I
is
have yet to hear the conch. Doc is being mean to the north. No, it's okay. Just it's fine. I understand. Here, we'll put one of these in there. We'll do 2 of these. Yeah. What does it do? Apparently, it makes a sound. I have yet to actually hear that happen. You all right? It tried to do a thing, Doc.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I was there.
Yeah. I smelled it. I was
Yeah.
there.
Got up close and personal.
It's a little weathered. Poor Norm. Poor Norm. Do we have any yeah, we do have hiding in here. And a paw.
Did you doubt me when I said there was hiding in here? Did
Oh
you
no,
doubt
I didn't
me?
even hear you. I'm sorry. No.
Oh.
Hi,
We do
Mira.
have hiding in here.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
There's another cruci.
Oh, hey. Yeah.
Interesting.
So far, evidence is not a wraith.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what we
We're
got
doing
so
great.
far. Yeah.
Oh. Ooh. You want me to go in there and light that thing up?
I'm on it. Careful, SpongeBob. Norm, hopefully you get some results with the conch. I'm hoping so.
It's gonna be fine.
It's about to hunt us, Doc.
Laz, I'm worried.
Oh god. Oh my god. The DP on my mouse just went to 5,000. Holy shit. Why did that happen? Oh my god. Okay, fixed it. Jesus Christ. I did she hunted in the hallway right on top of me. Dude, Logitech is destroying me. She hunted directly on top of me.
Yeah, I saw that. I
That was
right there
not
with you.
enjoyable.
No. You know what else wasn't enjoyable?
Ate the cruci for blowing out the firelight.
fact that I
Oh,
went
if the firelight was
for
still
the
on,
same
probably.
locker
Yeah.
you did, and you were very good at closing the locker door.
Very good.
Very good.
All right. Let's go out here. I think it's a normal speed.
I think you're right. So I'm gonna
think
go
so.
ahead and cross off then Hantu. Do I cross off Maroi at this point or?
I
do you
wasn't
think?
listening intently, but I do not think that it was a prolonged smudge timer. It's hard to say.
Okay.
So I would say probably not Moroi, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will cross off.
I'm going Thay, Mimic, Twins, Revy. I didn't get a look at it when it was hunting, so I don't know about Oni or Phantom. We haven't had a fat.
Raiju in all likelihood.
In all likelihood, it's been near electronics for sure.
So much likelihood.
Many lights, many hoods.
Yeah. And hoods, likely. Not a what do you call it? A freaking follows you around and traps you in a corner and makes you feel stupid because everyone thinks you shouldn't die to it. Ghost. Dio. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some more information.
All right.
Interesting.
Ooh, that's a EMF 10.
Apparently, it's
Quick
having a
update
party.
on, yeah, quick update on sanity. Your sanity is 50. Mine is 1. Two. Never mind. I just gained a sanity.
A 3.
Yeah. 3.
We might get lucky. We might be able to hear Norm through the sound sensor.
Ooh. Bring it, Normie. Bring it.
Promise Fire, thank you for the 8 months and thank you for the gifted.
Wait,
Thank
but
you,
it's
friend.
Katiana Lewis. Oh, you mean the gnome? Oh, that's right.
No, the ghost name is not Norm.
I
This
didn't
might be a
realize that the gnomes game that you played with Baron and Chinggis, I didn't realize that wasn't full release yet. It's still
Oh yeah,
only
that's
the
a
isn't
demo.
it?
Yeah. Black Big. Like the 3
Unreal.
months. All right. I'm gonna grab another smudge. I'm a little suspicious of a possible polter here, Mr. Doc, based on that EMF 10 we saw.
All right, what would you like me to do? How can I assist you, Flash? How can I serve you?
We need to get these objectives done. So we need a video of the ghost. We need to escape and repel with the hunt. He did not know that. He did not know
Video of the
that.
ghost, I'm on it.
Jet, welcome in. Snake Fire, thank you for the 4 months. I'm bringing a crucie, by the way. I'm gonna try to protect him. All right. I'm gonna take a risk here.
I just got a video of something. I don't know what it was. I took a video of the crucifix. I don't know
like
if
it.
you need that or not.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Do work, son. This is so stupid. This is so dumb.
You're doing great. Oh, look! It. Oh no, that.
It knocked him off the bed. It just turned the dollhouse on.
This is hilarious. Oh, I think I recorded that. Okay, I need to be careful.
Okay, spread them out a little bit. Spread the love. Okay. Oh, let me pick you up.
More books!
Lighter. I had it. I made sure to get it. How's she gonna read them all? They're like the same 3 books. Like 15 times over. Yeah. Aim, welcome in. You okay?
Who's got 2 thumbs and got a video of the ghost? Yes, guy.
Aw, man. Okay. I don't even know, man. Hey, remember that whole the bone being in the ghost room thing? Also, it didn't hunt from in here. It hunted from like out here.
What's up?
The bone's in the ghost room again.
Weird. I'm sensing a trend.
Don't get that started.
Sensing, kinetic partner hack.
All right. Hey, Derek, welcome in. Spicy. Was that 90 seconds? Dude, oh, what a turd. What an absolute turd butt.
Look at this! Look at this! It's like a little children's library scavenger hunt.
It's not very good.
No, it's okay. Welcome to our library. We have 3 different books.
All 3. No, drops are not active. There's nowhere that it says that they are. Yeah. You'll know.
You know what
They'll
this
post
is?
about
This
it on
is
socials.
like when you have like 2 children and one of the kids gets something.
Oh, and everyone
And then
needs
the
it.
other one's
Yeah.
like, yeah, and it's like, we already have it. And you're like, but I want my own.
But he touched that one. What am I
Yeah,
testing?
yeah.
I'm trying to. I don't have a smudge left. I'm trying to see how much it's
Listen,
throwing.
kid, books don't fall
Some
from
folks still have it in
trees,
their stream
okay?
title. Yeah, but are
Get a
drops
job.
actually
Go out.
being earned
Do
in those
something with your
streams?
life.
Because someone could have drops in their title all day.
Oh, I was really expecting the ghost to hunt us right then, and it did not.
No, it's about to. 3, 2, 1. Being dodgy. Yep. Always be careful, friends.
Excuse me, I
If
believe
you
you
don't
meant
see it pop up in your
3,
chat window, it's probably not
2,
happening.
1.
him go in, and it killed me.
If it makes you feel any better, I smudged. I smudged. It's for real.
So if we're going to talk about somebody getting somebody killed, I'm aware of what that means. Don't hide with Doc. The remote control is literally right here. You know what? F you. Enjoy the TV. Has he completed all the objectives? He has. Okay. But if he gets the ghost wrong, though...
Don't worry, Flash. I'm going to do this quick, and I'm going to make you proud. I'm going to go in there... and then probably guess. As penance, I will loop the ghost.
Oh my god.
Okay?
I don't want to hear it anymore either. There we go.
I appreciate that. Can you give me some sort of a sign that lets me know what? Candle. You want me to light a candle? No, you. What?
I'm feeling like this is a multi.
Get away from me! I did not light the smudge!
Nailed it.
Welcome back. I've prepared jobs for you.
I would like to first thank you for getting me murdered.
Hold on.
And then...
Whoa! Slow down. Slow down.
Thank you for the biddies, friends. Go on.
You can't prove murder without intent.
Well,
So
okay.
at best, I was an accessory to murder. At best.
Okay, so the
Okay.
ghost is the one that we are going to put on trial. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And secondly,
Witnesses? You are all witnesses.
And my chat will back me up on this.
Go ahead.
Actually, I don't know that for sure because they're already accusing me of killing you, but hold on.
Thank you, chat.
I did light a smudge.
You did. However,
I did.
you waited a long time to get in that closet, and by the time you got in there, it definitely saw you, and it chose me.
Perhaps it was going for the alpha in the situation. It was trying to prove it's
asserting its dominance.
Yeah,
I can choose who I want.
Walked
Son of
into
a
the
bitch.
closet, gave a T pose, and then was like, "I'm killing this guy."
I'll get that one later.
Yeah, and he did.
All right. Well, I
Ghost.
guess we both need to do hot things.
Well, how you doing on cash, Flash? You okay? You doing
I'm
all right
okay.
on cash
You
for
know,
this next run?
hold on. Let me double check. Let me double
Okay.
check. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I'm all right.
Okay.
I'll float.
hold on,
I'll be
let me
fine.
check.
I'll be fine.
Well, hold on. Let me see. $85,000. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna do my spicy bean.
All right. I will do. Oh, that's right. I have to do stuff too. Okay.
Yes, you do. It was a Pulte. I got it right.
Just drop my chips into oblivion. Hold on. I'll be back in like.
Okay, you're good. I'm gonna do my thing too. I got a fresh box. I got a fresh box. Spinning it. All right, I got jalapeno. It's hard to see. It's hard to see. See it there? We got jalapeno. Ay, caramba. We were doing so good. We were doing so good. He dropped his chips. Yeah, he dropped his chips. No ranch soda? No.
You doing okay there, good buddy?
I'm okay.
Okay.
It's fine.
Quick impression. Can you describe what you're experiencing right now?
Well,
Yeah.
it sort of feels like someone has like a torch aimed at my neck.
Oh.
A little bit. But it's on a low setting. It's not very high, but it's high enough to where you're like, it's annoying, like knock it off kind of thing.
I don't know. Normally when someone has a torch to my neck, I find it annoying almost instantaneously.
I think that's fair. Yeah. How about you?
Well, I feel like someone just like shattered several glasses and put them in a funnel and then attached one end of the funnel to a leaf blower and then put it inside my esophagus.
Okay.
And here we are.
That's a very in-depth description.
Well, I mean, I don't, you know, I want to capture the moment.
I do appreciate it.
Not for nothing. I do need to say this sidebar.
Okay.
Your first well that you said, kind of give it a well, and it immediately made me think of Spaceballs after he goes flying into the front, and everyone picks him up and he's like, well, are we stopped?
Are we stopped? Smoke him if you got him.
Why don't we all take a 5-minute break?
Oh, I love that movie so much. Consider revisiting Ghost Watchers for sure.
It's so
at some
good.
point.
The second one is in
I'm
production
scared.
already.
I'm scared.
Are you?
I'm fearful, man. I'm fearful that they're just trying to ruin a thing that just it ended perfectly, and they're bringing it back. Like the nostalgia is awesome, but if they ruin it, it's going to taint like that series forever.
If it's nostalgia for the sake of nostalgia, we got problems.
Right.
But it does have a ton of potential to
It
be
does.
kind of amazing.
I think they even brought back. I think they brought back Rick Moranis.
They did.
I think so.
He hasn't been
yeah.
acting for like 30 years or something
Nope.
like that.
He stopped acting so that he could be with his family.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's what you did, right, Flash? You stopped acting so you could be with your family, right?
Yeah.
Is that not what happened?
Yeah.
What was your last role again, Flash? Can you tell us about your last role that you had? What was it?
A tree.
Free. and what was your most meaningful line as the tree, FlashForce? No, FlashForce, no!
So listen, I would always tell the story of when my wife, who like back then when we first met each other, it was through acting, doing musical theater, and I was the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz, and she was a tree. So she had to stand on stage in a tree costume and just stand there and wait. Just wait for over like I don't know how long to be able to start moving around and throwing apples.
and the rest is history because she was standing in there as the tree and then just slowly turned and saw FlashForce enter stage right. And then we hear
the time of my life. No, she was.
Then did you jump into the tree? She lifted you up above her head. Oh man, amazing!
She was ensemble, so she played like 1,500 roles. They like did so much, but it was just that moment when you first see Tin Man, and she was just a tree.
Whoa, you landed Tin Man? That's actually pretty legit.
I used to do a lot of musical theater. Yeah, it's been a long time though. Yeah.
Look at this guy. Is that where you learned to beatbox so well?
through the Tin Man. If I only had a
modern rendition. Yeah.
That's right.
It's the Baz Luhrmann
Tater!
of
Thank you for
Wizard
the
of
50
Oz.
months, sir. Oh my
Okay,
God. Hi, Mr. Tater. Where are we going now?
That didn't go great.
I
Are
was
we
not
gonna
a tree.
continue with no evidence runs?
Yes, I'm cool with that.
I'm fine with that. Okay. Sunny Meadows, I would prefer not doing,
Okay.
if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
How
Crazy.
about we grafting it?
Grafting it? Get grafted on?
We grafting.
Regrafting.
go.
Can you use that in a sentence?
Wait, what? Grafting in?
Yeah.
Yes, I am going to head to the store later, and I cannot wait to purchase a PS5. After I have my PS5, I will be grafting in.
Country of origin, please.
Madagascar.
Yeah, that sounds right. Have I ever played Mortuary Assistant? I have. It's been a long time, but I have.
Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation.
Never heard. I do not beatbox. I do it as a joke. I don't actually ever do that. No. I definitely cannot.
Careful out there.
Wow, way to make really old Intel sound like it's new Intel.
I know.
Idiot.
I know. One of these days,
Anyway.
it's only been the same sounds on there for like 6 years, so it's fine.
So, like, it's going to end up being like Bobcat Goldthwait's voice on this. It's gonna be like,
This filter you use, it does not allow for your voice to go above and below a certain pitch, so it's literally just...
oh, so it's like cutting in and cutting out? Sorry.
You sound
All right,
really
here we go.
nervous.
I am. All right, here.
I died, yeah.
KC-73 Sophie Corrigan. Henzia knew the ghost using incensuses capture 3 unique videos with a video camera. Capture 3 unique photos with photo camera.
Back to the neck beard. Oh, look, there is a back to the neck beard.
Early in the morning.
Yeah, I died last
All
round. Yeah, it happens, man. Anywho, Shady, thank you for the 9 months. Appreciate the Twitch, baby. You did it in the middle of the game, which means the baby's name is Sophie. So you have to accept these things and move on. Mr. Tater, I hope you're having a good Sunday, sir. I hope it was going well. I've only had to do 1 hot bean, which is glorious. Still no blood moon here. It's never going to happen for me, man. Well. Is that in there or is it in here?
It's like pointing. It says I have 3 meters to go from where I'm standing right now.
You don't have a thermometer, do you?
I do.
Can you check the temps over there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna check down at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Bottom of the stairs is 8.7, 9.6, 9.1.
What about
Precisely 9.6?
what about over here inside of the Manacon room?
On my way.
Okay.
Put him in the bilge and make him drink it. Put him in the bilge and make him drink it.
Early in the morning.
8.5 degrees, 7.7 degrees.
Ooh.
7.7 8.7 degrees. 9.1 degrees.
I'll be RB. I thought I just heard.
Roger that. Do you want me to keep telling temperatures, or?
You do whatever you feel it is best for you to do the things you do.
The way you do the things I do.
What? I'm a little fearful that the ghost is actually upstairs. I swear to God, I thought I heard a door. Back to the next beard. Power's on.
Roger that. I don't know where this...
Yeah, it's in the doll room. It's here.
Okay. Ah, 2.1 degrees. Roger that. Okay, I'm gonna go get a smudge because
That's a good idea.
a little, yeah.
Because they're a little creepy.
Hello, creepy.
Not the doll room. Yeah. They haven't moved yet. Which is interesting. Okay. Our favorite ghost room. It's up there. I mean, at least it gives for interesting interactions. Room boundaries are a little broken. It's just a matter of where the ghost can interact, like above and below. Oh my! Can you imagine if we're like sitting here and then in the window a little doll pops up? It's a little doll just standing there. It does like the hand motion across its neck.
Yeah, we could leave at that point. That would be all right.
We leave. All right, let's bring this. It is no evidence. We got to remember. Unstoppable Goose. Thank you for the prime. Someone was asking about the next time we're going to play Retro Rewind. Great question, friend. Hopefully soon, because we've been just digging the crap out of that game. I need to change the video that plays on the TV though, for sure. All right. I bring this. I bring this. I bring this. This. And I bring this.
I brought 2 smudges.
Ooh,
So in
let's go.
essence, I'm contributing nothing.
Going so confidently, the dolls and mannequins are the worst. Yeah, but they make it fun. All right, still got that. I'm gonna go get more stuff. Back to the truck for more stuff. It is the way. It is the way. Hey, what's up, Peter? No, you're good. Been running errands pretty much all day. I feel that. That was me. That was us yesterday. All right, let's bring a photo camera. Let's bring audio.
It's not a race!
It's not a wraith.
It's not a race, FlashForce! It's not a race!
It's not a raid. And hop out, Ace. Have a good one. Hey, said the ghost.
Hey, oh, just turned off the light.
What a butthole.
Hear that? You're a butthole. How does it feel
To be a butthole?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I wonder if, like, if I see a mannequin move and I take a photo, if it would, because you can't take a video of it, which is stupid.
Well, I hated that. Oh.
Oh, that was dirty. I didn't have a
was
smudge on me.
unpleasant.
There we go. Now I got one. I'm back to the neck beard. Be one with the ghost. I think there's a lot of noise happening. I don't know if he's alive or not. I assume he is. Doc?
What?
My man. What are we thinking, Abe Lincoln?
Oh God! It's
Oh, my Lanta. Where did it hunt from? Oh, that's cute.
I think it came from in here.
What made you think that?
I don't know. It seems like the kind of room a child would like.
Okay.
You know?
The summoning circle gave it away, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna set my kids' room up the exact same way.
I don't know what it said. But it said a thing.
Probably said, can I borrow your credit card for some more Robux?
Sick bastard. Oh, got the power. None of the dolls have moved. They've talked.
Hey! Shut up, kid!
It's talking to you. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it was like, hey, wow, ghost hunter, you're scary, and you're probably going to catch me.
Oh, it's still there. Okay. Oh, it's following Doc. All right. They can move. Yep. They certainly can.
You okay?
All good. How about you? You good? Yeah, absolutely got the ghost in there, so it's not a phantom. And I'm pretty sure that it's a normal speed. Banshee child? I don't know. It's not coming downstairs like ever. It's just staying up there, which makes it tough. I want to play a game.
It's dark up here.
We'll turn the lights on, you goofball. Okay, not this one. Yeah.
It did not come out of the doll room.
No, it hasn't. It's been there most of the time, yeah? Oh, you mean it hunted outside of it?
Yeah.
What a jerk. Wait, where the fuck? Did I take it with me?
Oh, just the other day when I was playing, a ghost walked across.
I had the same thing happen. Same exact thing.
It was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it catches you off guard.
And then when you realize, because I tried immediately afterward to walk
And
over
you
the
can't
middle of
do
the
it.
table, and I was like, nah, you can't.
It sounds like a banshee. How so? Doc, get off the table. You were raised better than that. Oh, load it coming. You little shit. Okay. Crawled across the table.
What happened?
It crawled across the table. That's what happened.
Why can't I? Oh, my flashlight's down here. That's why. Okay, I'm gonna go get my flashlight.
All right. Is it not in this room anymore? I mean, it's still, no, it's still 2 degrees. Interesting. I don't know, man. I got nothing. I know, you try to teach them no crawling on the table, and these little jerk holes think they can do whatever they feel like. Oh, that's right. You burst the lights in here because you suck and we hate you. Oh, but thank you for the book.
I like playing with you the best.
No, you don't. You just told Doc the same thing, you little liar. It's full of lies.
You okay, good buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. It just tried to lie right to my face and tell me that it liked playing with me the best.
What?
It already told you that.
Oh, well, so you're feeling jealousy, or you're upset with the ghost's lack of originality?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's normal speed as well. I think it's done.
We're okay, good buddy, we're okay.
Thank you. That audio keeps cutting out.
So this ghost doesn't seem particularly fast.
No, it seems pretty normal, if I may say so myself. Right, you little jerk?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, easy, whoa. Okay, listen here. Hey, what's up, Halogen? Oh, ghost fart inbound. I mean, it's 100% not a shade. I can't tell if it turned a light on or not. It's so hard to say, man. Oh.
Oh, you mean me clearing my throat? I wasn't. Oh, God!
No, I'm going this way. Today's your birthday too, Halogen. Let's go. Happy birthday.
That ghost had a really slow walking moment.
Yeah, I smudged it.
Ah, I guess
Yeah.
that would explain it.
Yeah.
So it's a ghost that doesn't react well to smudges. That Ooh, all of the
Do every single one of them. Okay, that's good. I have a timer going though, just in case.
Okay.
It still has not left this room. Gesundheit.
Thank you. I have a cold.
All right, I'm going this way for a second. Oh, no hiding there. Okay. So 60-second timer is done. Ghostie's still not left that room. I don't know, man. I'm torn.
Torn between what and a what?
Everything.
Oh,
If that's helpful at all.
so it's a relatively uncharacteristic ghost. It doesn't seem to be doing much Chucky. Like it doesn't.
No Chucky, no, but it does seem to be staying in that room a lot.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. So it's a relatively well-behaved ghost child.
Relatively.
Yeah, outside of the insatiable lust for murder.
That's usually puts a damper on things. Yeah, I think so. Definitely Goryo
Yeah.
holding out. Well, behavior-wise, I mean, the Goryo just can't leave the ghost room. I mean, it can't change. It also said, hey, back.
Teletubbies are stupid!
It's not very nice. He said Teletubbies are stupid. If it is a normal 90-second ghost, though, it's about to hunt. We will see. Oh, no, this is a custom no evidence run. So it's professional
Lights went
preset.
out.
Roger that. It's a professional preset, and we removed the evidence. Hey, it's hunting. So 100% not a spirit. I think I can't tell if it chased both of us. I think it did, which would make it not a banshee. Again, it stays upstairs and it's not coming down here. Blinks look pretty normal from here, but I can only see it for a second. Interesting. All right, what do you got?
Well, did you try doing shimmy? See if it's a day end? Did you do the shimmy?
Well, it was within 10 meters of us and it didn't change speeds, which would make me think that it's not a die-in.
Roger that. It's not EO.
Probably not.
Not an Obambo because it's been pretty consistent, right?
Yeah, if it was an Obambo, it'd either be slow or fast.
Okay, how about a Galoo? A Galoo?
Baba Galoo?
What is the feature of Galoos?
Well, if you go to your book, you can see that if you use protective equipment near the ghost, it will become enraged, weakening the equipment effects. So one way to really tell that one's with the salt. That's a good way to test it.
And it stepped all over our salt, so it didn't even care.
Correct, but we also smudged after a hunt, and then it didn't change at all. 3 salt tests? You don't even need 3, you just need 2. You get it to walk in 1, count to 3, and then lay down another one, and then if it walks again, then it's not. It's chasing him. Oh, Doc's dead. Well, I'd ask if you're okay, but I think I know the answer to that question. All right. So we know for a fact it's not a banshee because it's chased both of us and we both have been inside. I don't think there was a gin sprint at any point. It sounds loud enough. Not speeding up with electronics, not a Revy, Thay, twins. I don't even know if I'd be able to even do a yokai test anymore. Yeah. Yeah, he's not doing good. Yeah. Not doing so good. No, that'd be a no on the Banshee because it chased both of us while we both have been in the house. Very normal speed. And it kicked the breaker, so it 100% can't be a Jinn anyway. Did it turn on a light? Yeah, blinks are very normal. It's been hunting from that same place, though. Like, every time. Definitely feels like it has. I think the odds of Doc having a smudge on him are probably low. Did it turn on a light earlier? Oh, hey. Doc had a smudge. So I could do a yokai test. It turned off a light. Well, turning off a light doesn't mean anything. It's a matter of if it turns it on. He's playing his Flash Let Me Die. Wait, did I know that there's a Flash Let Me Die song? Wait, excuse me? Let me shut you. What the hell? All right. No, it seems like it's been in that same room the whole time. And there it is again. No blood moons yet. No. You can't check for the Goryo in a video camera if you have a no evidence run. Has he played it for me before? Oh, maybe he has. Maybe he has. Thank you for the biddies, by the way, friendo. Unstoppable Goose. Thank you for the prime sub. Thank you. What? All right. All right. I'm gonna need to do a Goryo. I mean, a Goryo. I'm gonna need to do a yokai test from upstairs. We're gonna have to. So what we'll do? Let's get some lights on. So I have somewhere to go. You little son of a bitch. Come over here, idiot. I hate you. Throw that down. All right, hold on. Yeah, that's not a yokai. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. I wasn't expecting it to follow me. All right, it's not a yokai. And I did get a smudge off. I don't know timing-wise how that's going to go, but we'll see in a second. What is the difference between Galu dots and regular ghost dots? There's no such thing. Doc, I miss you. Forever. Listen, you little son of a bitch. Are you still in here? Dude, has yet to leave. Watch it not be a Goryo. I haven't been able to test for the Ure. I don't know if it's... It burst all the lights, so I can't even check for a mare. Not like this. Real cool. I'm gonna have to go Goryo. Nightmare? No, this is professional with no evidence, basically. Yeah. Listen, this could be wrong, but I'm going to go Goryo. This stupid thing's been stuck in that same room the whole time. And we got to bring Mr. Doc back. What is the difference between... Oh, Goryo dots. You have to see the Goryo dots in a video camera or on this screen because you can't see them with the naked eye. Okay. Well, here we go. There's a very high probability of this being wrong because I've had a djinn that has not left its room for 40, 50 minutes before on a no evidence run, and it was just not right.
Welcome back. There's some
Oh,
jobs
thank
ready
God.
for you.
Genius.
Ooh,
Genius.
yikers. Is this easy to learn?
Great,
Depends on who you are.
Tiger.
It might be easier for some, but there's a lot to learn. Thanks,
Well,
Dad.
I'm coming to the conclusion pretty quickly that I'm not very good at the no evidence runs, but
Listen, we get overwhelmed. That's the problem. We get overwhelmed.
yeah.
We can go back to
were some
Nightmare if you
intense
want for
moments there.
funsies, if you want, so we can get finding stuffs, you know.
No. I am down with whatever.
What about any over maps for level 18? If not, then okay. What?
Listen,
I'm
am
fine with
willing
it.
to continue with this. I am fine.
I know he
with
didn't, but he's
this.
dead. I'm not
Listen,
going to make him
it's
stay
not about the
dead.
ghosts. It's
If
not
a
about the
player's dead,
deaths.
I want him back.
It's about the friends you make along the way.
Yeah, whatever.
Right? Okay.
They can leave their room. They can't change their favorite room.
I chose that one, so you're up. You're up there, bucko.
Australia.
Oh, crap. I forgot I got to do a hot sauce.
Oh, yeah, do your hot sauce. Hey,
Mother
Phoenix
father.
Fire, how are you?
You want to do you want to do one with me just for
I could look at them.
friendship?
Oh, look, they're right
or-
there. All right, there you go.
Well, I mean, you could experience one by putting one in your mouth and chewing it and swallowing it and sharing in this very warm experience with me.
You do realize how easy it is to clip things and just turn it into anything, right?
Yes.
All right. Listen, as long as we
worry
are
about
both
that
on the
hot
same
sauce.
playing field,
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
Don't worry about that hot
Don't-
sauce.
don't-
Don't worry about
don't-
the bean. All right, here we go.
All right, you do your thing,
Chip.
chicken wing.
All right, be right back.
Ads are gonna happen in a minute,
And
friends.
I'll
Just a heads
be
up.
fine.
Just a heads up. They start in a minute. They start in a minute. What about the camping one? I'm very confused what you're trying to figure out. It'll help with the sinuses. It definitely can help. That is for sure. Guaranteed. No questions asked. He's doing his hot sauce. We'll wait. We wait. Yes, you. It's so quiet. Mel, hey, how are you?
Warm and fuzzy feelings.
Is this what a hug feels like? Trying to get tips for the camping one. Tips for where to go, tips on how to hide, tips on how to get evidence, tips on how to throw a basketball. I mean, it's very open-ended, friend. Very open-ended.
This is good. This is good.
You good? You're definitely good, right?
Oh, mother, father! I thought I was fine.
Your hiccup pain is just a different kind of experience.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So, what strategy suggestions do you have for our next round at Nell's Diner?
Strategy-wise, I think, I think figuring out where the ghosty is and getting at least one squirty cream in there, I think is our strat for this next one.
Squirty cream. Sounds great.
We have not had a blood moon yet. No. Negative. That is, we've somehow dodged it this time around. Yeah.
Oh, look, it's Becky.
Oh, hey, Becky, good to see you.
Becky.
But be careful out there.
Squirty cream shall guide us.
Case 874, Betty Watts. That sucked. Case 874, Becky Watts. To take the ghost spreaders with the motion sensor. Repair the... Repel the ghost and it sends mouse chasing someone. I capture a photo of any successful reading on an EMF reader.
Oh my gosh, I've got these like long enduring ones. They're not good.
It's just like if this was like Star Wars and one of the robots was really struggling to just stay alive.
That's where I need an oil bath. Oh, this oil bath is going to feel so good.
Oh my God. Such a struggle. Woo. That's good stuff, man. I gotta admit, it's good stuff. Is Doc okay? He's okay. He's having a little bit of a time, but we're figuring it out. Am I gonna survive Grim? I don't know. It's hard to say.
Let's follow the path of Dusty's trail. Oh, Dusty's
There's a spine back.
Ah, allow me. Must be good quality hot sauce. It's doing him good. Lost from the rest.
If you don't, I'll get out both your eyes.
I don't think that's in Dusty's trail. Where do you say you saw a spine? Deserts and rocks are in their way. Hey, where'd you see that boat?
It was right by the... Here, I'll show you.
Right by the here, I'll show you.
Okay. So, you know the door in the side of the building?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Okay, it's if you kind of go in that side door and then turn left and go right through,
really hate you sometimes. You know that, right?
Oh my God. I have a song playing.
Oh, did you not know that I was just standing behind you?
Leave me alone.
6 degrees in this hallway, BT-dub.
Roger that. It did touch Nanor. I'm very well aware of how to do the Scully monster, but doing it now would be really stupid because then it would be really loud for the rest of the map. No. No, that'd be an awful idea. Terrible. Disgusting idea. I would hate it. Darkest Joker, thank you for the video, by the way. Dead and rocks. Crucifix, a smudge, and some salt. Oh, wait, what's our sanity? 70. All right, sanity's at 70. We're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I'd say we're doing great.
We're doing great.
All right, I'm gonna grab a lighter now before I have an opportunity to forget.
Ah.
Okay.
Ah.
Oh, wait a minute.
What's he? Oh, wait a minute. At anything. Oh, I heard that. Not a gin. It just kicked the juice.
All right. It's gonna have to clean that up.
Yeah, I got it.
Let's follow the path of Dusty's trail. Oh, Dusty's
I
trail.
gotta turn this off. All right. As much as I appreciate Dusty's trail. All right. Oh. Don't tempt me with a good time. What? Oh, goes fine. So it's not an Oni. It's not a Jin. I don't think we have any other information. Tater Tot, thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate the sub for Rando. You smell Doc dying? Well, stop smelling. You turned off Dusty's trail. Now they're annoyed at you. I know. I know. I know. They're pissed. They're angry. They're mad. Had your first perfect insanity yesterday with an Obake. Question: can the ghost leave fingerprints on the mini fridge in the basement? I assume so. I don't think I've had that personally happen to me, but I can almost assume that it would. Just based on it, like, intuitive nature of everything that can happen. If the ghost can't leave fingerprints on the mini fridge, that would be really stupid. You okay, Bucko?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Okay.
I tried to listen for the off chance of a banshee scream, and I got the ghost was just laughing at me. That's it.
Oh wow, what a butthole. I don't think they can. Can they not? Really? Deserts and rocks.
Wait, what?
Are in their way.
Ah!
Did you just kick the power? Oh, okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Oh, thanks.
Hold on a second. I gotta take care of this. Got a little scared. All right. Okay. What is that? What does that sound for?
What? I see our breath in here, dog.
In here?
Uh-huh.
Are you sure it wasn't just residual?
It might be
breath?
hallway. It might be the hallway. I don't know why I thought I saw a breath in here. That could be a lie. Yeah. Sorry. Got excited.
Okay.
All right, let's go there. That's a good spot.
Perfect. Oh! I don't know where that is. I don't know where it is. I'm in the hallway and I don't know where it is. No one knows where I am.
It's a dying. should have came over here and looked at it like this. Ooh, what did you just say?
As it sounded a little quick, little fast.
It did. There was a few things that happened during that gave it away.
Oh, wait. So like this is like the end of a Scooby-Doo episode. So go ahead.
So first thing that happened was somebody came over here and peed all over the water cooler. We're still trying to figure out who did that. But then after that,
disgusting but important.
Absolutely disgusting, but it's important for this information. So then the ghosties started hunting. When it got closer to us, it got slower. And then as we moved, it got faster.
I bet this ghost is inconsistent.
Do you already have the shadow? I do. You called it inconsistent. It's really angry about your perceptions.
So we're seeing that it's really slow, or really fast, and then it got slow when it was close to you. Is that what we're saying? So, are you saying it's a Dio or a Dian? Dio or Dian?
Okay. So, it got slow when it got close to us. However, it didn't go directly to somebody. It's definitely one of the D's. Thanks, Jeeves.
No, it's okay.
Dodge, duck, Dio, Dian, or Dodge.
Yeah, probably one of those.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting a little more specific. So we're saying it's not a Diugan.
Correct.
But it didn't get, well, did it get slower because we weren't moving? Like, or, no.
It definitely seemed that way.
Oh, you think it seemed that way?
I do.
Okay, all right. I am willing to test this theory. With this.
Okay. I believe in you.
Okay, all right. So if I stand down here at the end of the hallway, all right, I'm gonna do a little shake and bake.
All right,
okay?
but if it sees you, yeah. So if you're not moving, it should be pretty slow. But then when you start moving, she gets wheels.
Wait, but this doesn't get any sort of like line of sight trickery or anything like that, right?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out.
Okay. You're not real. I mean, you are real, but that's not real.
Yeah. You're not real.
You're not real. Where am I?
Oh, Harry Potter. I'll move the crucifix in here so they'll come say hi to you.
Remember, I'm going to shake and bake, okay?
Roger that.
While I'm shaking, it will be fast. While I am baking, it will be slow.
Noted. Wait,
Okay.
what's the speed going to be like when you're baking again? Draco, thank you for the 9 months. Vindictive, thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate the subs, friends. Now, it would be really mean if while he's watching the ghost, I shimmy and go fast. I'm not gonna do it. I assume Doc's okay. Hey!
Mark! Okay, I can't lie. I was hiding behind the vending machine.
Okay.
And I was doing shaking and bacon. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard it. All right.
Little
And I was
shake and
doing
bake?
shaking and bacon like
Okay.
this. And then apparently the ghost had stopped hunting. And I'm still shaking and baking. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why are its footsteps so slow right now?
Because it's your
footsteps are
footsteps.
I'm like, maybe this isn't a die. Oh, these are my footsteps.
Nailed it.
Oopsies.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right. So intel wise, would you happen to agree with what we're thinking?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I would.
Yeah.
100%.
It definitely sounds like
Seal
one to
of
me too.
approval.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Put it in an envelope, lick it, seal it, send it to grandma. It's done.
I don't know if grandma would
Maybe you
appreciate
don't
it.
want to send it. Yeah, maybe not send a day in to grandma.
Yes, don't send a day in, die in, whatever. We call it a die in at this point.
Yeah.
Hey,
Don't send
grandma,
that to
die
grandma.
in. Wait, what?
Oh, what did Jimmy send me this year?
If you open it, it just is. It's instant.
Yeah. Oh my God! Grandma, no!
All right, you have die in marked.
I do.
Day in, die in, whatever.
No one cares. Day in, dying.
Day in, die in. Yeah, 2 res back to back. Nice. Mr. Cheeves, how's your weekend, sir?
Welcome back.
Lovely.
I've got some jobs ready for you.
Look at that.
Lovely.
2,965 ghost dollars.
Ooh.
Sweet. That's like a DoorDash order.
It's like a what?
A DoorDash order.
Oh, yeah, basically. What kind of
Yeah.
fees do you have? Oh, that'll be $2,900.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, that
Well, at
sounds
least I
right.
didn't have to get off the couch.
Hey-o. All right. No evidence,
right.
back to Tangles. You want to stay on no evidence or you want to switch it?
I am fine with whatever you would like to do. I lived through one no evidence run. I didn't have to do a hot sauce, so I'm feeling
Listen,
mighty
we're going to go
confident
back
right
to Nightmare just for the fun of getting the evidence.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fun of getting evidence.
Yes.
Evidence is fun.
Evidence can be fun. This is factual.
It is. Unless
You know what else
committed
is
the crime.
fun?
What else is fun? Oh, readying up?
Yep. Lucky enough to wake up at 1:30. Good God, Cheeves.
We've arrived. Check the equipment and get set up before investigating.
What is the challenge about hot beans? Oh, if I die or if I get the ghost wrong, I have to eat them.
Must be the reason that the ghost was summoned
Yeah.
here. Take a look.
Oh,
You may be able to use it to your advantage.
thanks for the useful update, Steve. Idiot. Anyway, case 875, Ronald Limit. Detect a ghost presence through the motion sensor. Detect a paranormal sound with a parabolic's microphone. And capture 3 unique videos with a video camera.
Perfect.
Sounds good to me.
1, 2, 3. Wait, what?
Buckle, shoe. I'm going pure side objective. Capture 3 videos.
Oh,
I'm
I
on
haven't
it.
done my thing. I haven't done my thing yet today. I gotta do my thing real quick. Sorry.
I don't know what that means.
But the song thing. I haven't done it yet today, so I should do it now. The ghost hunt thing.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay. I did have
you
one.
Obviously, don't have to.
Yes.
watch it. All right. Here
I
we
did.
go, everybody.
Spaghetti. Thank you for the 17 months. How the spookies going? They're good. We're just gonna wait. Doc's doing a song. It's okay. Has Doc recovered from his hiccups? I think so. Yeah, he's been okay. He's been all right. Neurald, how are you? Since the last ghost was dying, does that mean that this ghost is going to be a day? What the hell's wrong with you? What the hell's wrong? Why did he have to mute? Oh, no, it's just because he's not doing push to talk and the song is only going through his stream. I'll tell you, this is quite the experience when I can't hear anything. It's just... Is this like when you see an influencer in the wild kind of thing? Like when they say like you want to see the TikTok from their point of view?
Ooh, yeah. Thank you for indulging.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, all you on flashes then? What'd you think?
I compared it.
My moves.
I compared it to like if you see like one of those TikToks where it says, "Oh, what? Like I want to see the TikTok from their point of view," because you see them like dancing from 30 miles away. It was sort of similar to that. Because you
like
cut over to
mouthing
me and it's just dead
songs, but
silent.
not actually singing anything.
Yeah, just dead silent. Just pure ambiance.
Nice. Ambiance.
Ambiance. Oh, Black Betty. Ambiance.
Ambiance.
Ambiance. All right, give me a sound. Let's go. Poison Ivy, thank you for the gifted to broken pizza. Oh no, our pizza. It's broken. Dude, I haven't had cards in forever on this map. It might have thrown something, but I don't know. That's normal. He said something to me and I didn't hear it.
And there is a circle star at the beginning.
That's disgusting. Hi, Dorito. No blood moons. No, not a single one today. Agreed upon. We have a mango man in the living room.
Roger that.
Mango man, right here.
Wait, a mango man?
Mango man.
The heck is a mango man?
I don't know. That's what they say.
Oh. Roger that. I also
Wait.
think I also think we have a pickle puppy. What? Why am I shushing?
I'm like treating you like Caesar. Like. That's what I heard. It set the egg timer off in the kitchen. Where is this thing?
How much time is left on my egg?
40 minutes.
I like 'em real hard, boy.
I want that to be like a brick. What the hell? Bro, what the hell is going on? Oh. Finally, holy hell. There's no shot we have an ND filter on this thing in the middle, like inside. Ghost, will you please? All right, it threw a thing in the living room. It did walk over here. I'm not even sold where it is right now.
Okay. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna retrieve the thermometer.
Okay.
And we'll see if we can find mom.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. ND filter, yes.
Wait, where did I throw the thermometer?
At your dad. I'm getting a smudge. Let's get this. I'm gonna get my thermometers as well, just so we can check and see where the hell it is. I haven't a clue as to what that is. It's cinematography, photography sort of thing. It's a filter that allows you to darken the image, usually in like bright sun. A little chilly in here. A little chill. Main reason people do that is so they can keep their settings the way they want to keep them, without having to sacrifice other settings. I won't get into the nitty-gritty of like ISO and all those different things. But our shutter angle is 180.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Where are you? Are you near? Are you close? Can you give me a sign? Where are you? Are you close?
Can you give me a sign? Are you wearing a strawberry scented lotion? Where are you?
I can be.
Are you near? Are you close? Do you prefer degree or old?
What? No
Spice
explanation about the exposure triangle? No.
You are near. Wait a minute. Old Spice, totally.
I was gonna get a video of that guy.
Wait, oh, did I kill your video? I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm glad you got the sniff though.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to get the sniff in. Sniff test.
Sniff
it's
test.
a ghost.
And what ghost is that? Sniff test. It's always where are you, never how are you.
Phasmophobia experience if the new evidence was sent.
It's like you ever seen?
Okay.
You know what? Never mind. Started onto him as I left. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. All right, let's get this. Let's get that. We have no evidence, do we? It likes him more than me. That's fine. No time to find a body. He's fine. See? No death noises. He's fine.
I don't sound like that.
That's literally what you said.
Oh, I'm gonna go get a.
All right, can you also bring me back a?
Yes.
No spirit box? No, it didn't seem like it. Here, we'll try again. Where are you? Are you here? I don't think I can get it. I can't. Gotcha! Eat shit, nerd. Oh, sorry.
Wait! I brought you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, hey, get drilled on, nerd. All right. Evidence-wise, we don't have anything, do we? Hey, Blood Moon, what have you missed? We've done some Nightmare. We've done some No Evidence. We've, you know, there's been some funny hunts. There's been some ghosties being weenies. All kinds of stuff. We're not getting any evidence. I'm fairly certain this is Nightmare. We don't have a UV, do we? Oh, hi, Norm.
I don't even know why this son brought me in here, but here I am. Ready to help out with the ghost hunting. Hooray! Wait, what are you doing?
It might be UV. Hey, Puzzly Wuzzly. Yeah, I've had one. I did die once. Yes. Okay. Norm, are you okay? Oh, wait, Doc as well? Oh, my word.
We're okay. We're okay.
All right. Oh, wow, that's cute. I'll be right back. The normal ghost hunting with Doc experience? Yeah, it's something like that. Seeing you play Retro Rewind, I'm excited to get it. How are you finding it? It's been great. I definitely want to play it more and more and more. We were talking about that earlier, too, about how I really want to create like a channel in the Discord or something so that we can collect the SKU numbers for the movies.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have no evidence is what we're saying?
We literally have zero evidence. We have not gotten anything. We might have a Gorilla,
right,
so it might be dots.
I'm not
But
seeing
to
a
be
whole
fair,
lot of
we have not brought in the UV to check for the footies. So just
Okay. All
Sipper
right, I'm
off.
on
Have a
it.
good night, friend. Yeah, just
UV.
throwing that out there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, if he's bringing UV in, I'm gonna do this. I've been interested in the game as much as Retro Rewind in a long time. Hey, good luck again. Ghost? I don't even hear it. Hello? Doc, are you there? Why is it always Doc that gets locked in? I don't know. Are you okay, big guy? Ew. Where is it hunting from? Do I see my breath right here? Wait a minute. Where did that go? All right, put that there for now. Hold, please.
Okay.
Much. Okay, got it. I don't know where it's coming from. Thank you for all the follows, friends. Appreciate you.
Probably the afterlife would be my guess. I just made that exasperate. I know the Flash sigh. I've heard it before a couple times.
The Tin Man wouldn't judge me like that. Have a heart for
No,
his
but a
voice.
tree would.
It just falls over.
It's a little colder here. I do wonder. Big Jaws, thank you for the 17 months.
Is it not in the garage? You don't think it's in the garage?
I think it might have moved, but I can't tell. Pretty sure dining. It feels like it, right?
All right,
Ms.
I'm gonna give
V,
Rose Sunny
thank you for the
crap.
raid. Yeah, that's true. Hi, Archmage. Oh, it's in the basement. Okay. That's why I can't hear it. It's in the basement. Flat-footed bastard. Have y'all gotten any evidence this run? No. Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Doc.
I'm just glad you're okay. I was worried about.
I appreciate your appreciation.
Well, I
Oh, shit.
appreciate the fact that you appreciate my appreciation.
I appreciate that you have such an appreciation for appreciation.
You still owe me $5, by the way.
Fuck. I'm sorry.
So we're still kind of functioning under the assumption that we have no evidence, right?
Yeah.
Pro Ghost Hunters, here we are.
It's moving around so much. It's so hard to get anything.
All right, I'm gonna grab a Motion sensor.
Roger that.
Since it's Motion.
It's moteing. There's no hiding anywhere. Literally nowhere.
Be safe. Make good decisions.
Dissidia. That Oni? I look pretty visible. Do you hear him? What did you say about eyeballs?
I said, don't look it in the eyeballs. It'll sense your fear.
I see your email 5.
Fear?
Roger that. Oh yeah, the garage. Duh.
So when people... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So, I think this might have been a pretty visible ghost, sir.
Ooh.
Question is
You're
it...
thinking it's... I have
what?
not been farted on. Have you been farted on?
No.
Breath in the basement stairs.
Yeah, no fats. And it's touching the door over there.
That little wadded up piece of paper looks like a smudge, but it's not, right? It's
What?
not a smudge.
Oh, it's a shell.
It's right here.
No, it's a shell.
It's a shell?
Yeah.
What?
I brought it down here hoping that it would mess with it and give us sound.
Hello?
Not you, the ghost.
Hello?
That's not what
You're
I
right,
meant.
that's a shell. That is not a... Oh, sorry.
If you pick it up and you listen closely, you can hear the death of another.
Oh, wait.
another
Hold on.
player.
I know what I'm gonna hear when I put this shell up. All right, ready? Are you ready? 'Cause guess
If
what
you
I'm
put it
gonna
up to your, if you
hear?
put it up
We
to your
both-
ear, you'll hear.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. No, that's not what we meant. There it is. It's the sound of the ocean in all of its majesty.
Or you're supposed to make it with your mouth.
Bwap.
My
was
favorite
pretty
ghost
good.
is a mimic. All right, we've not seen dots. I'm pretty sold on how visible that ghost was the last time, but we're not getting anything.
I feel like we need to see it hunt one more time.
I think we do too.
One more time. Oh God, no! I don't want to see it hunt.
Yeah, it's pretty visible, Doc. Kit, thank you for the 9 months. Hello. E.
What'd you think?
I think so. Yeah. I think it was an Oni.
Roger that.
I think Norm thinks it's an Oni too. Don't you, Norm? Norm?
What, you think I'm paying attention to you, Scrap? Get me out of this basement! My legs don't move, you piece.
Sure, he could scurry along and be alright. Oh God!
Oh God, I'm gonna scurry out of here.
All right, get us out. Get us out. You better hurry before you get locked in again.
Don't leave me, guys! Don't leave me!
Norm, I'm sorry.
Calm down, Norm. You're gonna be fine.
Norm, it's Doc's fault.
Use your arms that don't move to light the smudge. It'll be great.
All right, I got Oni in the book.
Okay, me as well.
Your favorite ghost is either oh, your favorite ghost might be a Goryo. You love them. Why?
Welcome back. I've prepared some jobs for you.
Who hurt you, and how can we be helpful? That's the real question.
Well deduced.
Look at us go. Got time for another one,
Look
Mr.
at
Doc?
us. I can do one more relatively fast one, and then I should
Okay.
really kind of disappear.
Oh, just like a tree
Are you going for
in the
a
night.
while, or are you just doing like one more?
For a bit more.
for a bit more? Okay.
Yeah.
Roger that.
Roger.
Noted. Noted.
Noted. Roger. Roger note.
Roger, I note you, Roger. Roger's been
I
noted.
get noted on. Love a Polty, but I never get them. I never get the ability.
Alright, we're here. Take a look at the
No red? No red? Oh, sorry, guys. I was really hoping for a blood moon for you.
Anything else? Oh, more useful information.
If you walk to the front of the house, you will find a door. And then you open it with the key. Oh, don't forget the key that's inside of the truck, okay?
Sometimes grass grows on this planet. Okay, here we go.
Case 876, Barbus, the Marathon. Turns the area near the ghost using incensuses. Capture a video of the ghost. Capture 2 unique paranormal sounds with a sound recorder.
Unique what?
Unique. What?
That's the name of my next child.
Unique what?
Unique one. Video sound recorder. Okay. Let's try. We need video, we need sound recorder, and you know what? F it. We're going full media. Let's do this. We got this. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Kid, thank you again for the 9 months, friend. Thank you. Oh, imagine if I could see the orbs from here. What?
Power is up.
Oh, roger that.
First set of lockers has hiding.
Also noted. I'm just imagining. I've never tried.
I cannot pick up this rake that's in the garage.
You just have to try harder. That'd have been really cool, but I just don't see it. The odds of it happening go lower when you're on Nightmare because you get less evidence to begin with. We might not even have orbs. Is that here? Go see my breath again? Or is that literally? Oh, it's right here. Okay. I think it might be in the kitchen where the bone is. Hey, look, the bone is in the ghost room again.
Weird.
This game is really trying to F with us.
Yeah, Floppy Frank's back here.
Hey, yo, touch him.
Wait, what? For real?
Yeah, just give him a little fiddle-diddle. Ryder, thank you for the follow. Hey!
Can you see him through the door?
Yeah.
Hey!
Hi, Frank.
Hey, you coming over for my Super Bowl party?
I sure am. Who you voting? Who you rooting for?
I'm rooting for the Saskatoon Razor Blades.
I love the Saskatoon Razor Blades. They're my favorite.
Yeah, they're the best. They led the division last year. In injuries. Anyway, come on in, good buddy. Help yourself to some chips and dip.
Thank you. What kind of dip do you have? Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, now that you ask, I've got some antifreeze and Crisco.
Antifreeze and Crisco.
Yeah, go ahead and put your chips right on in there, FlashForce. You wanna put
Go on, put your chips
in
right on in
You
there.
wanna put the chips there, don't you, FlashForce? You wanna put those chips. You wanna put those chips right in the Crisco.
You realize you're just by yourself? Like, oh, dang. All right.
You're just gonna let me go? Like, just keep going for the next 20 minutes?
Maybe. Where are you?
All right.
Are you here?
I'm right here.
Where are you?
Chips are in white.
Are you here?
Oh, hey.
Where are you? Are you here? Where are you? Where are you?
Did it say it would fart on the counter?
I don't think so, but we'll go with it. Where are you?
On the counter.
Fought on the counter. Where are you? I wouldn't even be mad. You know, I wouldn't even be angry if I heard a voice like that. Where are you?
That's amazing.
That's wow. I'm not even mad.
You ate a whole wheel of cheese?
Bing, bang, boom.
Mad. That's amazing. You're fired. Bing, bang, boom.
Get a crucifix.
Do you
get some
realize
salt.
what you just said?
By the beard of Thor.
Oh. Odin's raven.
It'd be funny if you interact with the voodoo doll in someone else's hand. That would be funny. It'd be really effed up, but it'd be funny. Now, I haven't heard anything, but except for the spirit box, like it's not throwing much.
Okay, I literally did not see your camera that is right now parked directly in front of my camera.
Oh, we got double camera action going on right now.
Yeah, now I put up double deuce. So it's it's basic. Yeah.
Well, here, what if we take one of them and put it over here?
Let's go back into the overstimulation room. Here we are.
Ooh. All right. Writing. Best way to go from 2 evidence to 1. Just treat it the same way. Just 1 less evidence. What now?
I thought you said something about Frank.
No, writing.
Oh! Sounds kind of like Frank.
Sure.
Sensing a little sarcasm.
No sarcasm at all.
I'm good. I'm glad because I totally trust you. Totally.
All right, roger that. We did not get a single blood moon today. It's a little weird. It's almost a guarantee most times, but I guess not this time. Oh, there goes Doc. I should bring in another video camera. Actually, wait, you know what? Hold on, I got this. I'm gonna go put one outside. Oh, whoa. I'll stay outside. Don't mind me.
That was on.
There we go. Frank looks different. He's fine. What's the worst that's going to happen? He's going to get floppy. Need one by the fridge to get full coverage. Come on it. Come on it. We got to get all the angles. Or just fun. Just stupid angles, I think, is the way to go. All right. That's hot. Burn Cruci, ghost writing, bone, EMF. Need a picture of the ghost? No, we need a video of the ghost.
Didn't want us here.
No, it's fine. All right. I've got every angle of that room covered.
Okay.
That's hot.
Fine.
That was hot and spicy. Oh my god.
That was a little scary for a second.
It's okay. It's okay. What are you giggling at? What?
Pretty high. Did you put the yellow cup under the tripod?
No, I did not.
It looks like a bedpan, like in case it gets and has movement. Just like
what? Oh. You know, if it gets a little leaky, it'd be okay.
Listen, I'll hold up this camera, but I'm kind of terrified.
Oh, there is no camera on this tripod. That is a cameraless tripod.
Because I picked it up so that way I could get a video of the ghost.
Ah, roger that.
Yeah. We have no sounds. One video. What do we think it is? Just wait for.
Ow! 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 Hey! Hey! Ow! 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 The pain!
It's not a Dio, that's for sure. Doc, are you okay? Doc had an oopsie. Shh. Doc. Doc, are you okay? I can't bring you back with Frank. Were you carrying a smudge again? Gosh dang it. Not flashlight, Doc. He had a smudge literally on his person. What do you mean? Well, I'm not worried. Okay. Moroi, Mare, Pulte, or Spirit. Well, this doesn't feel like any of those. All right, let's get some more lights. Excuse me, pardon me, pardon me. Don't want to walk past your corpse. Sorry, pardon me. All right, got a smudge. Holy Christmas. You stinky ball's head. All right, 90 seconds is up. Not a spirit. My guess right now is that this is a mare based on how it's throwing. Bye, Bella. Have a good one. Why did you let him die? Why did I let the person die that had a smudge on his hand to smudge himself? Is that what you're asking me? Better question. Why'd you let him die? Why'd you let him die? Huh? Why didn't you warn him? Hey, Doc, make sure you hit your smudge. Maybe the blame is on you, not on me. You ever thought about that? Hot shot? Did Doc have a lighter? That I don't know. We'll look when we get to the truck. I'll assume yes. Frank is furious about all of this. What the hell? Is there another smudge? Hold on. Let's go see if there's another smudge. Because it's not your job. Oh, that's funny because it's not mine either. But somehow you like to pass blame on everybody else. How's that make you look? Hot shot. All right, let's do this. Seraphine, there should be a channel that lets you press a button to verify. Hello, ma'am. Oh my God. She got me across the table. Did you see that? Did he have a lighter? Oh, he didn't have a lighter. Okay. That was rude. She was on that side of the corner and got me. Oh, hey, I got the ghost ray.
Prepared some jobs for you.
She reached across the table and killed me, Doc.
Because I was so disappointed in my performance.
So some people took note of something they saw in the truck when I went back to go get another smudge.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's a reason for this.
Okay. Okay. Well, for what? What do you mean? I don't know. What are you talking about?
Someone is probably going to point out the fact that there was an object that was inside the van that should not have been inside the van at that point in time.
Okay.
Someone's probably going to say, look at that. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3 of those, and there should be but 2.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now, let me explain right now why it was still there. Because I have an explanation.
Okay. It was next to me? It didn't feel like it.
Oh? I went in the house with the lighter to smudge the ghost to save your life.
Did you?
And then I was like, what?
Did you put the lighter back?
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. Because I wouldn't just forget it.
Okay. All right.
Because
I just want to
only
make sure.
someone who is, only someone who is foolish would do that. So, I went back to the van with my lighter that I had.
Okay. Oh, and just to be clear, just to be clear, can you point out what a lighter looks like?
Yes. Yes. You see these things right here?
Okay. All right.
These are lighters.
Okay. You know.
Okay.
Jesus. You know, when you look at me like that so demonically, I don't know if I can believe you about anything.
Yeah, you're kind of terrifying yourself right now. I'm not gonna lie. But
eyes just went completely black.
yeah. So basically, I went back to the van. I put the lighter on the thing.
Okay.
And was like, I'm probably not going to need this because Flash has got it all under control.
Ah, okay. It all makes sense when you explain it like that. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I wanted you to be able to spread your wings, you know, and exercise that true hero that you have within you. So it was a gesture of faith on my part to put the lighter back because I picked it up to put it back.
Right. Right.
And yeah, have you do that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. You know, it means a lot.
Yeah. 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 Did you ever know that you're my hero? But anyway, Flash,
Mr. Doc.
Thank you 1,000 times. It is
thank
always a
you.
blast, always a pleasure. Oh, you're very welcome,
You're
FlashForce.
so welcome. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I am so excited for these opportunities to nearly snap in half. Yes.
No. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh my God, I so wish, because you're standing right here, and the eye beams there, just they have the pong, like some sort of like frying pan sound over and over again.
Bong, bong, bong. How did it work out for you? Not so good.
I hope you have a lovely remainder to your stream.
Same to you, sir. Well, not stream, the day. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. You're the best.
No,
you're the best. And
Stop
always
it.
remember when someone
Got him. Not today, sir. No, you don't.
Welcome back.
No, you don't. Not today.
I've got some jobs ready for you.
Try to get us. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Hey, Maddie, how are you? Oh, God damn it. I'll spin it. Hold on. Gosh dang it. Absolute crap. Oh, I got jalapeno again. God damn it. Can't spell today. That's okay. Odinko, welcome in. How are you? Man. Yeah, Peggy, what it felt like, I was staring at it and I was like, okay, I'm going to back up and I'm going to smudge. And by the second that I went to do that, it felt like, pow, it just got me. And it could absolutely be worse because it could be the Carolina Reaper and it's not. Yeah. Well, trust me, I'm not good with spicy anything, but yeah. Gosh dang it. At least the 2 times I died, I got the ghost right. I haven't gotten the ghost wrong a single time. Have they updated the weekly? No, it doesn't update for a few hours. Does it actually tell you how many hours? It resets in 3 hours and 47 minutes. You're good with spicy ghost, though. Yeah. Your husband loves Carolina Reaper? What a madman. All right. Oh, my God. I have ads coming. I feel like we should hit them now before we go back into another one. Seraphine. What is your name on Discord? Mr. Doc. Oh, my God. It's getting hotter and hotter as the minute goes. I need to blow my nose. Mr. Doc, I haven't seen you in ages. It's so good to see you. Hello, sir. Mrs. Shelby Tusk? All right, hold on. Let me take a look. Doc, the beans are hot. Ay, caramba. Ay, caramba. When did you join the server? Because I don't see you in a recently joined. Are you sure your name is not Seraphine inside of the Discord? Are you sure? Hi, little vamp. How are you? Switch back over. I don't know why it switched over different different stuff and things. Hold on. There we go. Might have changed it to a nickname? Well, I mean, even your username is Seraphine's Bestie. It doesn't say anything about the... But I do see the Mrs. Tuss, though. All right, let me check the... Let's see, verification. Bum, 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 bum. Sorry, I'm checking on a thing, friends. Mr. Dockerton, how are you, sir? First time watching the live, welcome in. Hello. Hello, hello. Ads are about to happen, friends. Just a heads up to everybody. I do apologize. They're about to happen on their own. I'm not going to go into the next match until they are over, though. I promise. I do promise. I swears. Pencil, welcome in. How are you? All right. Where is... Well, you posted inside of the... Oh, I see. I see. You posted inside of the sub hangout. I get it. Hey, Giggity, how are you? There it is. That's what we were waiting for. What up, spookiest? Things are good, man. How are you? Gonna hit the bathroom. Best of luck, sir. Oh my. Oh my God. Zally, thank you for the subs. Yeah, I might have to check after stream is over, Seraphine. I don't know why, and feel free to DM me too. I don't know why you might not be able to see that channel for some reason right now, which wouldn't make any sense. Zally Thea, thank you so much for the subs, friend. Bassam, thank you for the sub. Welcome in. When is the next Retro Rewind? I'm hoping soon. I know. I want to check out new games, but man, it's Retro Rewind's been a lot of fun. Thank you for the gifted. Thank you so stinking much, man. Yeah, so just remember to send me a DM and then I'll check after. No, just feel free to DM me. No, you can DM me. It's okay. Yeah. Hey, Fresh, what's up? Have you played Myst Survival? I have not. Too many games, not enough time. I know. That's pretty typical for me. It's just how it goes, man. I never have enough time for all the games I want to play, and then we end up playing the same games because we enjoy them and they're fun. I know. Gonna play Resident Evil again? There's another one that's on the list. I know. It's just like, I have such a hard time trying to decide where to invest my time. I think that's the hard part. It's tough. Oh my God. They're spicy. Started the Forest finally and struggling. I've never played Sons of the Forest. Do I do YouTube and streaming full time? No. Nope. That's part of the reason I don't have the time for all the games. No, I work 40, 50 hours a week as a cinematographer, video editor. Are Wednesdays still whatever Wednesdays? For the most part, usually when they're not is whenever like Phaz has something bigger going on, drops or new badges or whatever it may be. So it's supposed to be though. 200 games on Steam and have only played like a quarter of them. Oh man, I know. Juggling different games, went to play them as adults. Quite the challenge. It is. It is. But you know what I did do though? I did arrange all of my old consoles and number them based on a switcher so that I can easily know which one to switch to turn the power onto it and be able to play it. So that's my accomplishment. No, I appreciate you guys, man. No, I appreciate you. I get asked pretty frequently if I've ever thought about doing like full-time content, and my answer is always the same, that it would be a dream to do such a thing, but I definitely want to be careful because I have a family, right? I think that's the biggest part of it. All right. All right. Before we go into the next one, let's do the things. I want to play the forest first because the enemies are even harder in Sons of the Forest. Yeah, I played a little bit of the forest. Not that much. We played like with friends. How long have I been streaming? This year will be my 6-year partnerversary. Yep. So I got partner 2020 in December. Yeah. 2020. Oh shit. I didn't mean to. All right. Let's do sub giveaway real fast before we go to the next one. I have that with my systems, kept a sheet of which switch connected what system. What I did was above my systems, I have a switch bank for the power. So that, because what I didn't want to do was I did not want to have all of them with the power on all the time because they're always drawing juice and it would be not good for the electrical. So what I did was I have them on a switcher so that whenever I want to play one on the top of my rack, I've got a switch where I can turn it on for that system. And then I have power to it. And then on my switch above the TV itself, a button to change the connection because I've got a composite switcher on the back where I don't have to unplug and plug cables in. I'm just ready to go. Yeah. So been working on getting that cleaned up. You know, I've been working on scanning all my VHSs and all that shit in that room. So it's good. Yeah. Doing the things, man. Doing the things. All right. This is for a free gifted sub, friends. We're just going to keep it on Goo because it just feels right. If you are not subscribed and you want to possibly be subscribed for free, if you do !Goo in chat and you have 60 seconds to do so, you could win. If you are already subbed and you still want to do it just for funsies, if you win, you have to choose somebody that's not subbed and give it to them. So you will have the power in your hands. You see how buggy this is and how laggy this is? It struggles. It struggles real hard. All right. But you guys have 40 seconds to do so, and then we will get into it. And then after that, we'll go to the games. Nice to hear the retro room is moving ahead. It is. I've been slowly doing stuff here or there. What's really funny is like I found that app to scan my movies so that I can catalog them. And I saw a post come up that was like it only had like 10, 20 likes on it, but it was literally talking about the app that I use. And this person bought an actual scanner to Bluetooth so that they could use the actual scanner to scan their movies. I was like, okay, that's kind of badass. But I've just been using my phone and it's been fine. I wish it worked on you. I know, Artsy. I know, that'd be great. That'd be cool if it did because I can gift memberships on YouTube. So I can do that. Your dad did that. I just have to do it because if I'm ever going out thrifting and I want to look for movies, I want to make sure I'm not buying a duplicate. So I can do that by literally scanning the movie. All right, you guys have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. Okay, we go. Did it with all your books, and you felt like a real librarian. It's always nice to have everything cataloged. Yeah, and I can do the same with games apparently too. So I'm gonna try to do that, just so I've got it all organized. Eric! Exclamation point cream. Nailed it. It's close enough. It's close enough. We'll take it. Sold. The one and only Lurch. The one and only Lurch. Well, let's take a look in a book. Let's see. And you are not subscribed. Frickin' perfection. Let's go. Easy peasy, friend. I got you. Eric, how are you, friend? Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. GG's, friend. Enjoy the sub. No ads for a month. GG's. GG's. Michael, thank you for the follow, by the way. Welcome in. Hello, hello. Got back from a cruise. How did you like it? You know, I was asking Tater a bunch of questions about it because, like, I've never been on one before, and I've been trying to talk to the missus about trying to do one at some point in our lives because I've never done it. Hey, Danielle, how are you? Vin loves Eric, of course. It was a blast. I might have to look into it, man. Might have to do it. Let's go back to Tangle. And then after that, we'll see. Tangle Streets. Is the giveaway thing a separate program? It is. You might want to enable compatibility mode. Might make it less laggy. Okay. It used to be fine. Like it did not used to be that laggy. And then all of a sudden it started being laggy. So I don't know if I need to mess with it or what. The rain is so stinking loud. Good Lord. Good Lord. I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of cruises that depart. Oh, really? Ew. Have I ever considered playing Alien Isolation? I've considered playing 1,000 different games. It's just a matter of time, man. Just a matter of time and only having so much time to invest and wanting to stick to my guns of trying to play certain games. Like we play a lot of Phasmo, obviously, because we want to. But I still want to sneak in other games too. It's just a matter of how much time we have. All right. What do we have? Kenny Dyer, escape EMF, and capture video. All right. Let's go find out where the ghost is first, and we'll go from there. Let's go. Up key. Aki. I wonder what's louder, the Raiju heartbeat or the new Tangle rain. It's probably a mixed bag. All right. Power first. I've not been playing since the beginning, technically. I played in the beginning. So when the game first came out, I did try it within the first like month, but then I didn't play it again for like a year. The whole reason I even tried it in the first place is just because it was Halloween season, like spooky season. So we wanted to try a spooky game and we heard about Phasmo, and a year later, I completely did a whole switch over to horror games. Ghost. What would I rate the new Tangle? Compared to the old Tangle, I think it's a 10 out of 10. I think people can hold on to the nostalgia of the old Tanglewood, but you can't convince me that it's anywhere close to how good this is. Been watching the vids on YouTube. I appreciate it, Drunken King. Thank you. Shite. I have a screenshot of the landing screen. I see. Do you need anything else from me before I send the message? No, just send over whatever you can or whatever you want. Yeah. Audio is so weird, man. So freaking weird. All right. Well, it used to be fun when we had ghosts. Do we have info about Willow? No. No, we don't even have any info about the character update that's supposed to happen. Dude, what the hell? Did I check the basement? Well, that would explain why I hear literally nothing. Yep. Base Monte. What did you play before? Before I did horror games, I was a Rocket League streamer for 2 years. Let's do this. I'm definitely going to take one of those out of fear. Get one of that, and this. Of course, I know. Now we're just going to get endless basement ghosts. Yeah. Non-stop. It's what's going to happen. It's fine. Whatever. No, I didn't even look for the bone. I don't look for it that much these days unless I'm going for a perfect game, because it's not worth it in my opinion. If you're going for a perfect game, sure, it's worth it. If you're not, extra 10 bucks, 20 bucks, no. Are they going to play with the train? I don't know. Hey, are you going to play with the train? Didn't answer me. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. So, okay, I can't place. Okay. I barely sat it down. Good grief. Tend to get stuck in the goal of the other team. That's not good. Yeah, the train table is absolutely loopable. You can crouch and the ghost can't see you. Peak Diamond 2. Nice. I did a lot of time just messing around in free play or custom games. Yeah. My rank, I don't know. I was champ something. I don't know what it was. But I did not do a lot of competitive because I didn't care. I was just there to have fun. It literally ripped it out of my hands, yeah. All right, let's do this and this. Birthday's been really good today. Hell yeah. Can the ghost write in the book if it's in your hand? I've heard of it bugging where people have had it in their hand and the ghost has left them a message. I have heard said things. There. And let's go over here. No footsies. Where are you? Are you here? Where are you? Are you here? Where are you? God. Fine. I didn't want to drink anyway. What is more reliable to find the ghost room? The EMF or the thermometer? The thermometer. The temperature will be colder in the ghost room. You can't guarantee that the ghost is going to throw things, and if it's not, you're not going to get EMF ever. Let's get a crucifix. Maybe we'll get both of them. Disturbed salt. Oh, you hooker. So close. What is the cursed? I don't know. I didn't even see it. Once we found out where the ghosty was, I just kind of been setting up shop, running back and forth. I might bring another dot down there, although this dot is kind of covering the room pretty good. It's not doing too bad of a job. Looky, looky. It's dots. I remember in OG Phaz, the ghost could write while the book was in your hand. Specifically, that one clip of Mark, Sean, Bob, and Wade all playing together on Old Asylum. I don't know if I remember them playing on Old Asylum. Definitely remember them playing on Edgefield, though. That was beyond funny. With your retro systems, are they all AV cable? Or a couple that are old enough it has coax. So they are all they are all composite, all of them. So all of them are using my red, yellow, whites, but the Nintendo has a, I say but the Nintendo, no, they literally all do. The Nintendo could be coax, except I'm not doing that. On the side, it has your yellow and your red. So it's a mono stereo. So what I did was coming out of the side of the Nintendo, going into where it should be splitting for left and right speaker. I've got a converter that can, well, I have a splitter that is sending the audio to both speakers. So that way it's not just going to one. Yeah. Old Asylum, most people just didn't like it because they got lost all the time. Dio Abumbo Thay. I mean, the way that it wrote in that book really makes it scream Thay. Look at it. Now it's just showing off. Now it's just showing off. I need a video of the ghost. The condiment cables? Kids one day will never know. Oh, you suck. I only know Old Asylum from vids. Pretty new to Phaz. On Thursdays, on Throwback Thursday, I have a VOD of me playing Asylum a lot that plays on my 24/7 channel. The ghosts are paid actors sometimes. They can be. Yeah, I'm playing Nightmare. Yeah, we're not going to get any more evidence. Yeah, that's it. Marginally more successful cousin of the dot photo. Yeah, sometimes. I would like to get the video. What videos do I have? Object thrown. Well, we don't want to record another object thrown, so when I see dots show up, we're going to hit record. How's Mrs. Flash? Oh, she's great. Yeah, during stream, she went to go hang out with one of her friends and go do stuff. Oh, you bitch. Yeah, no Dio. No Dio. Come on. How is Asylum versus Sunny? Sunny Meadows is 1,500 miles better than Old Asylum. Old Asylum was another one of those just cut and paste. use all assets thing. Every room looked identical. People hated how similar everything was, which is why a lot of people hate high school. But Sunny Meadows is custom. It's all custom, which is why it's so good. Well, you know, the dot video was a great idea. You know what? We're still going to try for it. Give me this. I've got 2 crucifixes on me. Let's go get it. Let's go get it. Use the Goryo dot photo trick today. It worked like a charm. Hell yeah. It's not easy to get. All right, let's put this one here. Oh, now you're just going to walk at me, huh, you piece of crap? Son of a bitch. I think that's pretty good freaking coverage, man. Oh, you showed up and disappeared. Again! What the... So, we don't have Spirit Box, meaning this can't be a Dio. It's Obama or a Thay, and I'd say it's probably a Thay. It is very active in the dots. Very, very true. F you too, homie. What would I say is the most interesting game mechanic in Phasmo? I think the most interesting thing about Phasmo is the unique abilities of the ghosts. I think that's what makes it so successful. I'm sorry. You saw the recording button, right? You saw that? You were there? We saw the recording button in the top right, yes? I just got thieved so effing hard. It didn't even try. Yeah. Nope. Not in the mood. Nope, no, I'm good. I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. Come on. Got one of the longest walks in the camera. It's like, I'm not feeling it. No, you're using the wrong tape. You can't record on this tape. Stupid. Thank you for the follows, by the way. It's not even a venting for a video. It's like... This is great. Awesome. And I can't take a video of anything. It literally just started the train set and I can't video it. No, you don't get to play with the train. No. You give me a dot video and then you can play with the train. That's the rules. Do we know if you can actually video that? I don't know. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Okay. Well, apparently that's 100% broken, so I'm going to go get another one. Thursday, welcome in. Blizzy, hello. Cass, hello. Bro is getting scammed. Yeah, skibbity. All right, let's see. Do this. Give me the... We'll grab another video camera. We'll just keep this one off in the thingy. We'll grab another smudge. You're not my ghost, Dad. I think the table's messing with it, but it's in front of me. There's no table there. What do you mean? There's no table. What do you mean? If... No, no, no. You know the rules. What did I just say to you? I told you no trains until the dots. But I did give you dots. Real original. All right, so we know it can at least record things. That's nice. You can just try to throw the camera. Twice. Come on, this is your time to shine. This is your moment. Had a great time watching the stream. Heading out. Have a good one, friend. Appreciate you, Maverick. Thank you, thank you. Would be better coverage with the dots facing the opposite walls. It could be, but this seems to be covering most of the room. Hold on. Where's the other crucifix? Give me. We want to make sure that our butt is covered. So we're going to put this guy like there. If it starts at the other side, that's totally fine. Oh yeah, if this is a Thay, we've aged the living crap out of it. Dude, okay. All right. So apparently just recording dots in the basement is just, it's a dead art. You saw that I could record the object throne and the crucifix. Look. While I'm standing down here, it is not letting me do it. Oh, but we can fart. Yes, sick son of a bitch. Having issues too. Alright, this is gonna be dangerous. Let's try this instead. Recording dots is dang near impossible to begin with. I know, and then whenever it gives it to me and it's like, oh, here, we'll make this one walk for 30 miles right to you. Clear as day, it doesn't do it. I don't understand. Hey, Jay, welcome in. Maybe ask if you, oh yeah, no, that's what I was going to try to do was record to the van again. Yeah. I was going to try from this one because since it's doing such a long walk down this lane here, I thought maybe I could try here. It's not letting me record dots in person though. It's, we see it. Check the curse. Well, that's not going to change the dot video. At this point, it's just a matter of principle. Look. Look how close it had to be to this camera for me to record it. It had to be 3 feet away. Does sanity drain while you're in the truck? No, not at all. When you're outside of the map, your sanity doesn't drain. Not a single bit. Try it without night vision. I could. Sure. Maybe we'll get lucky. I might just say, I'm probably just going to say F it. Yeah, F this. Give me another camera. Let's go back inside. We have double smudge. Yeah. No, it has nothing to do with the lights being on or any of that jazz. Like, you saw how close I was. Yeah. So what we'll do... So we have hiding there. Groovy. We're just gonna let it hunt. Very new. No. You're okay. Do we think it ate the other crucifix completely yet? No, the Moroi curse that you have, your sanity still will only drain when you're in the map. But when you're cursed, it doesn't matter where you are in the map, you still lose sanity. Universally agree to gaslight you? Listen, whose stream do you think this is? What do I mean by ate it completely? Well, the crucifixes have a number of bites, if you want to call it that, or burns that it has on it. So like the tier 1 has 1, but tier 2 and 3 have 2. So It has eaten one crucifix all the way through, as in 2 burns. And then the other crucifix, we know that it's eaten it once. I don't know if it's done it twice. If it's done it twice and I walk down there, it might hunt right on top of me, which is why I'm kind of standing over here. We know we're within hunting range. That's fine. I feel like it's taken a while for it to get to that point, though. Here it comes. There's no way that you're that fast as a... Ooh. I literally caught it. As it came at me, it was the fast ghost. It was the fast Obombo speed. And then the second I smudged, it just so happened to turn to the slow speed. Well, wasn't that just intradasting? Oh, I need a photo of an EMF. Do I even have that in there? Probably not. Oh, Bombo number 5. Yep. Blizzy, thank you for the prime. Interesting. We at least want to complete our objectives. That's usually our goal. Not worried about perfect games as much. It's a nice little challenge to go for perfect games. We just haven't been in the mood for them. Oh, Bombo number 5. Wham, 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 wham. I don't even care about your dots anymore. F you. Oh, wait, but I need that. Yeah, ghost ball, fart. Wow, real cute. You're so great. Here, you want me to go find the cursed object? Hold on. I didn't see it down there, but I could be wrong. Oh, shit. Haven't done perfect game in a while. I haven't either. I mean, I do them from time to time, but not super often, right? Thank you, gamer. Thank you so much. Just what I needed for Christmas. All right. I'm watching this, because if that shuts, then... I don't have the photo. I can't. You're useless to me. Get out. Go home. Go back to your room. Go back to your room. Nobody wants you. What was the dot spam ghost? Was it the Thay or the Obo? The dot spam ghost? What do you mean? Love the new Tangle. Me too. I think it's great, and it makes me look forward to the revamps of every other map. I can't wait for it. When the ghost events on you like that, it does have to travel back to its room, so that's what I'm allowing it to do. I mean, this ghost was the dot spamming ghost. Go to your room right now, young man. Yeah. All right. Oh, there they are. Don't you shut. Oh, well, I didn't have any sanity anyway, so F you. Now it's just rubbing it in. Oh my god. Now I'm back to 100. Oh, look, a useless tower. Yeah. So now my sanity is at 100. So that's what the sun card is, in case you were curious. Oh, wait. I might as well just... Wow. Real cool. So fun. So original. So demure. Where's the photo camera? Did I already get the bone? I'll get the bone so people stop crying. Don't mind me while you're having a blasty blast back here. The tower card, it is supposed to increase the chance of interactions. Oh yeah, I dropped it in here. Yeah, you're right. I was also looking for the bone. Yeah, based on your sanity, that's how it chooses how much it increases the chance for interactions. It's the way we were told. It's kind of dumb. If it was a purposeful change, it makes 0 sense. But we don't know. Where the hell? Are the dots slipping through the basement? They certainly are. They are indeed. Anonymous, thank you for the gifted sub. Thank you. Anyone see a boner? Yeah, look at that. Look right there. Yeah, they're coming through the basement. I don't know why. Losing items in the ceiling of Tangle. Yeah. Yeah, it happened to the best of us. What in the hell? See, this is why I don't look for it. This is why. The first stream you watched in years? Oh, what made you stop watching streams? Still play the dog? No, we just recently stopped playing with dog. Oh. Didn't check the potty. Does the dining room lamp affect the basement ghosts? It shouldn't. I say shouldn't. You mean like, are you able to still get spirit box and things like that? You should. I didn't need a hand in the bathroom, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, that's what Bumbo. Is there something in the game that tells you what every card does? No, there's no guide in the game that tells you what all the... Well, actually, wait, no. Hold. Where's the cursed possessions? Yeah, so it just tells you that there are cards. It does not tell you what each one does. A lot of the stuff, I think the reason that they never really added too many specifics into it. Look at this son of a bitch. I think the reason that they didn't add too many specifics is because they wanted people to figure it out on their own without being told all this stuff. And then if you wanted to figure it out by having someone tell you, there's guides all over the place that can tell you what each thing means. Like the unofficial cheat sheet has so much information on it about everything, something like that. Or you can watch videos that people make that tell you about all the different cursed possessions, locations. Is it bugged? I don't understand. Is it bugged? Why am I not able to stand down there and get dot video, but I'm able to get it from the truck? Whatever. F this. Features? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's fair. What the hell? It's such a troll. No, man, I think that would really mess with a new player, though, if you go to do the smudge and the ghost is slow, and when you smudge, then all of a sudden it's really fast. I think that would really F with you, but that's how we knew it was an Obambo. Camera's not getting the dot ghost. Yeah, when you get a photo of the dot ghost and it doesn't show up, that's a pretty common thing right now, too. I haven't heard a lick about anything with bug fixing, report, like any of that stuff, so you got me, man. I think because it was on the tripod, some bug regarding the no tripod, maybe. But see, but no, because I brought in another camera that never touched a tripod, and I could not get a dot video downstairs. I don't know. You got me? I don't know. All right, let me make sure to stop these. Okay, friends. We're gonna go find someone to say hi to. It is getting close to 5 o'clock. I have to start thinking of dinner things for the fam. But I appreciate you guys. We're going to end it on the tubes and keeks, and we're going to go find someone to raid on Twitch. So thank you, friends. Appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Love you, love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was trying to think if I was able to get a dots video with a handheld camera this morning, but the only time I tried, it was on a tripod. I'd have to go back and look at other videos that I've done and see if I can do it or not. Yeah, if you guys are not already in the server, the link is in chat, friends. If you want to join, that's where we talk outside of stream. Like I said, I'm looking into ideas of something to do with Retro Rewind and making a channel so that way you guys have a library of SKU numbers to be able to get the movies that you want to get. So if you see one that somebody else has, you're like, oh, I really want to get that one. Then you can go and look at the images and say, I want that, get the SKU and add it to your game. So I'm looking into it, man. When do I start stream? I have a schedule, and my schedule typically is Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8:30 and Sunday at 1. Sunday, I typically end at 4, but today we went on a little bit longer. I was having issues with it not wanting to register a motion sensor. Yeah, there's definitely been some issues. I don't know if they've been looking into any of them, to be honest. Mr. Rafa, hello, sir. How's it going, Mr. Rafa? How are you? All right, let's go find a friend. Let's. Thank you, Mr. Alpha. How's the weekend, sir? How goes it? Oh God. Oh, Chrome is freezing on me. It's a freezing. Thank y'all for the follows, by the way. I appreciate you. Thank you, friends. Let's close out Phasmers. Very hot, but going well. It has it reached record temps for you, Rafa? Or close? That's why I don't see you online so often. Most of the streams are in the middle of the night for me. Yeah, that happens with a lot of people, but that's also why that's why I started streaming on Sundays in the first place, was to allow people the opportunity to join. What is Doc's Twitch? It is Doc Umintari. Yeah, if you ever need any of the Midnight Society peeps, they are all attached to that, by the way. Hey, Spicy. Thank you, Blue. We're at 106 since Wednesday, the earliest in recorded history. Jesus. Absolute craziness. No, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let us go find a friend. Let's phone a friend. Oh, I know where we're going. Never mind. Friend found. Never mind. Friend found. Friend found. Never mind. Okay. Tomorrow, we're going to start with our weekly per the usual. And then after that, I don't know, man. We've definitely got the itch to switch over to Retro Rewind. Is the stream just starting? Are you watching on mobile or desktop? Thank you, Barry. Have a good one, friend. Thank you. When am I going to play Phaz? I don't know. At some point, probably. Like for the last few hours. Yeah. Any word on the badge? No, I'm waiting on a response from them. You're watching on mobile. So on mobile, if you tap on the screen in the bottom left, it will always tell you how long a stream has been up for. So it'll tell you the uptime. For me, it has been almost 4 hours. Yeah. Looking forward to more of it. It's either going to be the back end of Monday or we're going to do it on Wednesday, probably. Because I want to get into it some more. Rocket League, that is an hour a year, Eric. You know the rules. That is an hour a year. And we don't do that until December. That's how it goes. All right. We have a friendo that just started streaming roughly 40 minutes ago. Oh, you're lame. You're going to go buy it? It's fun. Yeah, Retro Rewind is a blast. It's been so good. You got a problem with the recording? Which button? You should be able to check it within your controls. Yeah. On keyboard and mouse, it's typically right click. Yep. If you have any issues, though, you can always check the Phasmo server. They can troubleshoot stuff. I think I know. Do you? He didn't say lame. He said la meg. All right. Let's raid. I appreciate you guys so much. If you are a follower, that's for you. If you are a sub, that's for you. Creepy tier 3, that is for you. Let's go say hi to one of our Midnight Society friendos. Mr. Kill is playing Poppy Playtime. The Poppy Playtimes. I appreciate you guys so stinking much. Thank you for all of these subs. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the follows and the raids. I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out with me and Doc today. Always a blast. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to start with the weekly, and then after that, it's kind of an open book. So we will find out soon enough. But thank you guys so much. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.